espers and 10 espers. Everybody's going to be starting with random unique commands, and we're doing progress times 2 enemy scaling. So anytime they pick up a character or esper, enemy levels will advance by 2. We're turning scaled elemental enemy abilities on. So if you run into, for example, some boss that does a Bolt 3 in vanilla game, that will be scaled down to whatever level he is, and thus becomes a Bolt or a Mega Volt or something survivable. Other than that, pretty typical fare here. All the items will be vanilla shuffled plus 20% random chance, as well as chest contents, and they will not have Ultima available in this seed.
Nope. So like you said, pretty standard. To answer a question from chat, Shock is available as a standard preset thing. The only ones that are excluded are, I believe, X-Magic and Possess still.
Yep.
So Shock definitely on the table. We have a Strago Sabin start. A nice young man helping the elderly through the quest of saving the world from a mad clown. Jaxfrock doing something I've only seen, I think, twice on a restream, and that is someone actually going to get these chests in the Narshe mines. Could pay off, could not. It does take quite a while to go through there.
It's become a little more common these days. I think there's a subset of racers that really like this check, but yeah, it is pretty far out of the way. There's not that many chests to get, so while it could contain something great that'll give you a leg up, the odds are slim.
Yeah, the treasure density in there is not good. And maybe, like, the only time I've ever gone there that I can remember is if you go there in the World of Ruin, you can get the opposite choice you made from the Lone Wolf check if you have Mog at the start, by going to where you recruit Mog in the World of
Ruin. Right. And I think that's the only time I would ever check this. And the only time I would ever really do that in that instance is if we're talking Illuminas or something.
Yeah, it has to be quite good. And ideally you have a reason to go to World of Ruin Narshe anyway.
But everybody else on the standard stuff, it seems.
Yeah, some heavy chancelloring there from that soldier.
Sharon is doing the aforementioned check as well. So
well, there is a gold hairpin there. Those can be quite useful at the start if you happen to start with natural magic or lore, or find a high tier spell really quickly. I personally almost universally sell them within the first 20 minutes, probably.
Yep, same. Just kind of, yeah, it depends on what you're starting with. But once you gain a few levels, it's usually not needed, and you can sub in some earrings or something for some better damage.
Exactly. Not seeing a lot of great stuff from the chests. Just not a lot going on yet, I guess. Hopefully they'll find something good in some shops or something.
Yep, with only 20% chance. I mean, everything, if you do shuffled vanilla stuff, there's really not that much great stuff available from either chests or shops. Chests more so than shops, but with only 20% chance, it should be a little rare, you know?
Yeah, at least there's some earrings there, a wall ring in the South Figaro. We are seeing Ashirin seemingly going up to do Kefka at Narshe immediately, something I would essentially never do, but that seems to have become part of the meta for some people now, is going up to check this and just resetting out, or yeah, and there's the reset, wasn't a character, gone.
Yeah, I think that was proposed by a community member, a fairly respected community member, and people have taken it as, you know, as a way to do it, which is fine.
Not, it does have its advantages.
Yeah, it's just the problem is if you get up there and it is a character, well, now you can't beat anything, so you're going to have to go back down anyway. I mean, there's the benefit of knowing what it is, but you, in my opinion, gear up first and then go check it first thing, so at least you don't have to automatically reset.
Yeah, that's kind of where I am with that as well. If I'm going to do Kefka at Narshe, I want to be able to finish Kefka at Narshe. do seem to be having some minor issues with Javanator's stream here. If you'd like to vamp for a moment, I'll look into that.
Where is Vamp anyway? Haven't seen that dude around in a while.
Oh, it's because it's always light when we do these.
Yeah, that's well, for some people. Okay, so Zeke, which is what Kate Toyzik told me to call him for short, is doing the collapsing house check.
So then, presumably it's K-Toy Zeke?
Well, he is Swiss.
If you say so.
Hey man, I asked and I even spelled it out phonetic. I was like Z-E-E-K, and he said, yep. So that's what I'm calling him.
Fair enough.
Anywho, so we'll see what we get from this free check here in the collapsing house. There are some chests available. There's some monsters in boxes available if you so choose, though this is probably pretty early for that. And then we should be able to see what the reward is right up front as soon as he looks at the house. So get a good idea of that here in a second, as both Javanator and Jevrock still looting while Asherin is going shopping.
Yeah, and it's not a character from the house there. It's going to be either an item or an Esper. Obviously, most people are going to want an Esper there, but, you know, sometimes those item checks from these really fast checks might be a Paladin Shield. You know, might be something that wins you the game. Could be an Illumina. Usually not.
Could be an Illumina. The odds are low, but in this particular seed, in case anybody was wondering, since you brought it up, it won't be a Paladin Shield, because we've turned those off.
Ah, yes, fair point. There is no Ultima or Paladin Shield. I believe Ultima is available in the current standard preset, but most people turn it off anyway.
Yeah, I think through polling, it's been voted that the standard set should not contain Ultima, simply because if you ever find Ultima, that's all you will ever do for the rest of the seed, and that's kind of boring.
Yep. I mean, you could say the same thing about Merton, but then with Merton, you need things to build up to that. Like, you need 4 elemental shields or some other way of mitigating the damage.
Right. And also, some bosses are immune or absorb fire, whereas nothing is immune to non-elemental damage.
Exactly. So, yeah, those, the seeds where you have Ultima can get a bit boring. If anyone watched the tournament last night, I was basically using Ultima the entirety of the second race. And that's not that interesting as a runner and probably as a viewer. But, you know, you gotta go fast. Be that blue aardvark thing.
So we are seeing some, I've seen a couple elemental shields for sale in the shops now. So those are still on. Let's see if we have rods available. We do. So shops can contain a lot of useful stuff. And if I'm not finding good stuff in chests, as most of these guys are not, my very first step would be to find a shop with rods in it and buy as many as I can afford.
Yep, sometimes you just gotta buy a solution to the start of the seed. I mean, if you don't get good treasure, you've essentially got 2 options. One is grind, and the other one is go find something to buy that will get you through it. Which may require grinding if you find particularly bad treasure that doesn't even sell for anything. Luckily, that doesn't happen.
Sometimes a combination of both is especially useful, depending on what the scaling is.
Yep.
In this set, I probably wouldn't bother grinding, but in a progress ×3, for example, can be super helpful.
Yeah, there was a red cap in Tamasa. That's the first, I think, legit good treasure I've seen. One of the only good hats. It will raise your HP by 1/4, which, if you're using a Valiant Knife, which does extra damage based on how much health you're missing, can be extremely useful. Just to add, you put it on when you're already healed. It adds, you know, depending on your level, a couple hundred to a few thousand HP, and then you do that much extra damage. I don't remember quite what the stats on it are, but it is also just a good hat outside that.
Yeah, the HP is the only thing noteworthy, I think.
Yeah, Hero Ring for sale there in South Figaro World of Ruin. And I saw some Force Armor in a chest. Not everyone's favorite armor, but it is quite useful. Meanwhile, we're just seeing Ashirin go to Kalingin, it would appear. Doing quite a full shop, apparently. Jex Brock has just found fixed dice in the basement. K-Toyzik going to find those in a moment. I don't know if other people forgot that place existed, or just didn't go there, or I missed it. But that is also a hidden chest in that hidden room.
So Ashirin has found himself, assuming it's a he, some Ragnaroks for sale. So,
well, there's another solution, and not just to the start of the game.
Yeah. So Ragnaroks actually, well, they're a great weapon. Don't get me wrong, and they will definitely can carry you through a seed. But at the start of a seed, not as great as you might think.
No, at the start you're just hoping for a proc.
Yeah, because it requires MP for those automatic crits, and at such low levels, you don't have any, so no use there. Plus, you also have to be in the front row to get full use of it.
Yeah.
So while it's great, still great defensively, and it's still those flare procs are very helpful. There's still a chance it will not get you through a difficult fight.
100%. I think it takes 16 MP for every crit that it does, and you might be able to get one off, and also you need a magic command to even have MP in this game, so you might not be able to do any.
Yep, I think it's actually a range of MP. I think it's between 12 and 20 every time you swing it.
Entirely possible.
I looked it up once a while ago, and that sounds familiar, but maybe somebody in the chat can correct me.
Yeah, it's one of those things where someone tells you something because maybe they saw it once and counted it, and it was 16 or whatever.
Yep.
And then you just accept that because it's a low enough number that you don't really care.
Right.
Experience Egg in Albrook. That is a game-winning item.
Tasty.
Yeah. I like to scramble them up into a nice omelet that I poach and then eat that.
Omelet.
Ooh, Dragoon Boots.
Ooh, very nice. He's pondering pretty hard there.
It's almost
Not
your
yet.
favorite item.
Almost. Second favorite. Well, not really. Dragoon Boots in themselves are kind of fun, but Dragonhorn is what really makes them useful.
Yeah.
They can be okay if that's all you got, and they do some extra damage, and they can save you in certain circumstances, but to really have some fun and really do some damage, you need that Dragonhorn pairing.
Yeah, and depending on what character you have, making someone a Dragoon might not even be necessarily a damage upgrade because it takes so long to come back down.
Right.
It's a 1.5 for any item and then a 2 times for a spear in terms of damage. But if you give it to like Strago or Cyan, they might take a whole extra turn just to come down anyway.
Yep, Speed Espers certainly can help, especially if you've already maxed out Strength, which is not very good in the first place.
It's okay. If you're going with a hit thing strategy, then yeah, you're gonna use it, but
Oh yeah, I'm a fan.
not as useful as a magic upgrade. Right. Tentacles, not the boss you want to see at the start of the game.
Nope, they do a lot of damage when they pick you up.
Yeah, it's just a straight amount of damage, and it's like 60 or something. 60 to 100 or... It's an amount that will kill you in 2 ticks, whatever the number actually is, at a low level. So unless you have running shoes, one of the only uses for them. Did manage to get Sabin back up, but looks like he's going to get grabbed in a minute here too. Oh, maybe it's not a straight amount. Maybe it's a percent or something. Because oh no, wait, sorry. I think they can only also do the maximum health you have. For some reason.
And running away won't work either. Sorry, pal.
Not even if you can fly. So that will be a wipe for Jex Brock. I wonder when he last saved.
Yeah, hopefully right before he did whatever that was.
Yep. You look away for 2 seconds and then someone's in a fight. And, okay, it was Mount Colts. Not a typical starting place. In terms of Sabin checks, there are faster ones, but there's some chests in there. It's also not a very long check if you run past everything. There's fixed dice for sale in whatever town Javinator's in.
And luckily, Jax happens to have running shoes. So, not a guaranteed win, but they'll certainly help.
Yep. Interestingly, using a Pearl Rod as a weapon. I don't know if trying to rely on procs there, or it's the only weapon Strago can use, which is also possible. But that is occasionally a valid strategy for the start of the game, particularly when Pearl Rods, if you break them, they're single target, unlike the other elemental rods. So you might try to get the procs on all the things, or you just have to kill one of them.
Yeah, so he's got a fire rod, and he showed us last time he can kill that lower left tentacle with one rod. And so the thing I would do next is immediately crack that pearl rod on the lower right one, which has the most HP.
Yeah, it is the most dangerous one.
Yeah, the fewer targets, the better. So just get rid of it, and then you rely on your running shoes to get you through the rest.
And Javinator taking possibly some grind here, and not the greatest start grind enemies. Although those physicals at the start of the game do tend not to do a lot of damage. And he does have Strago in the air, so he could get through it. Pommel also ignores defense, so that's always a viable starting way to do damage. Also, just a lot of rods.
Yep, rods are the way to go. They are your salvation at the start of a seed.
Yeah, they will often be what gets you through something. Unfortunately, Evil Oscars, I believe, absorb Thunder, so if he uses that on it, he may run into some issues. And I am correct. Jex Brock having problems again, whilst K-Toyzik is showing us another different check. A more standard opening Sabin check of Imperial Camp.
You know, I don't hate the Mount Colts play. It is a lesser run check, so it's really not a long one either.
No.
It takes just over a minute to get to the boss, so it's
especially if you're skipping chests, it can be very fast.
So, yeah, if this turns out to be a character or maybe a really useful Esper, then he'll be in good shape over the rest of the guys. But he's gonna have to. Well, he may still make it through this, but I would crack that Pearl Rod.
Yeah, and I think Mount Colts may be seeing an upgrade in people's tierings of what checks are good, because in the dev branch, if you go to the Imperial Camp, even if it's not a character, you now have to fight all of the fights.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's only a single fight if it's an item now, or will be.
Yes, that is.
Which I think is good. You know, it's good balance, I guess. They're both progressions, so they should both be equal in weight. I mean, I guess is the argument.
Yeah, and I mean that makes sense to me. Jax Brock might get through this if the tentacle is not a big ol' meanie. And other insults from the age of 6. Oh, taking the time to remedy himself, probably not ideal.
Yeah, just got to go for it at this point, or maybe use one of those tonics, because the physical attacks that they're doing aren't really hurting him. Plus, he seems to have some sort of regen on.
Yeah, he's got ticks of some sort going there for him. Possibly a cure ring.
Nice little thunder procs there will speed things up a little bit.
Yeah, I would probably go for Pommel over that, or...
Yeah, he's been using Pommel a lot, but I think he's actually relying on those procs to do
well,
some more
he's
damage.
getting them now, and I think the boss might be about to die.
Nearly dead? Uh-oh.
Oh, the Hail Mary doesn't do it.
He's gonna need to...
Oh, he's taking the time. X Potion, start of the game. Ashirin is getting a Genji helmet.
So disappointing.
Yeah, but it is a very fast check, so it's not the end of the world. Well, sorry, the end of the world already happened. I guess it is the end of the world.
Post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? I forgot.
I think you were just gonna tell me how great I was.
That was probably it.
I mean, it is a thing you do.
Often.
Yeah.
And loudly.
I mean, I just can't make you shut up. Jax Rock gets through it.
Hey, all right.
With just a dead old man. To answer a chat question, this is very much like Free Enterprise, but for Final Fantasy VI. It is open world. You start with the airship. You can go between both worlds. The primary difference between this and Free Enterprise is that instead of key item gating, you have instead the requirement to get a certain number of characters and espers to go to Kefka's Tower and kill the clown. They do not have to be specific characters or espers, just a number.
In this case, 7 characters, 10 espers.
Yeah, which is the standard.
Zeke doing the much maligned Burning House, aka Casa del Fuego check, which is my least favorite check in the game.
Yeah, but Strago won me both races yesterday.
I don't see how that's relevant.
Sometimes it's a good check.
It's not. It's not. It's never a good check.
If you have the damage to get through it and a way to heal yourself,
it still takes forever.
It's still a gamble, but you're gonna get early levels and money if you find something you really want money for.
You know what else will give you early levels? Doing a boss at a better check.
I don't know about that.
No, it's a fact.
Really?
I mean, you don't have to take my word for it.
I've just been skipping all the bosses.
Hey, look, Aura Lance is for sale up on Jevrox's screen. Jexrock. I keep saying Jevrox, but I'm just gonna call him Jex.
Yeah, it's a bunch of consonants in a row.
Too many consonants. That shouldn't be allowed.
An air anchor pickup. If we find tools, that could be very handy.
Javinator up there doing the aforementioned Imperial camp check, but in this branch that we're running here, it's still the standard 1 fight for an Esper. The only time it'll be the following 3 fights is if it happens to be a character.
Yeah, and getting Siren. Also showing off some game knowledge with those Bloompires, which are apparently undead. Just threw some Revivifies at them and they're gone. I was not aware of that.
You know, like a vampire. You see? You get it?
Oh, it's a pune or play on words.
You're not big sports guys?
First you get jobs, then you get to khakis, then you get to chicks.
Another early Mount Colts play here, although, no, sorry, that's Barren Falls. I was going to say they might be running out of checks at this point. We've seen quite a few, and nobody's found a character yet, so...
No, we've seen...
It's going to be at Fanatic's Tower, or something horrible.
That is not a boss you want to see when your main offense is Thunder Rods.
Not Thunder Rods, please. And we've learned our mistake.
Yeah. That's a lesson you kind of learn the first time.
Luckily, it's only at Barren Falls, which is a very quick check. Hopefully he saved right before, so we won't lose much time.
Yeah, we still have not seen the Ghost Train check, which is something Javinator seems to be going to peak here now.
Yep, it's a good idea at this point. After doing a few checks and not finding a character, at least doing the easy ones, both this train and the Fanatic's Tower will tell you exactly what you're getting before you have to do it. So that's where I would be headed.
Yeah, I would personally head to Ebbett's Rock, even though I really hate doing it, and I know everyone else does too. The math just works out that it is generally quite fast.
Hey, look, it's a Moogle.
Sure is.
Train.
It's dead Moogle, presumably, based on where he is.
Didn't see what his command was.
Did not look at the stats menu, no. Is he gonna check the ghost shop? Evidently not.
No. And, ooh, at the burning house is something that hates fire, which is kind of comical.
Yeah,
Try
that's, it's not gonna have a nice time.
Luckily, Zeke found, I believe he found a flame shield somewhere, so both of his characters have fire too, and in a pinch, he can crack the shield, but won't be needing to do that today.
No. Javinator also has elemental shields, fire shield and a thunder shield. We just saw him swap those around. Those are really nice ways to get an early level 2 spell, if you find them right off the bat, before you have access to Espers. Okay, Toy Zeke picking up Unicorn, the Esper there.
And I'll bet it's garbage.
And 2 people doing that 13-second chest in the Imperial camp.
Yeah, that's
Fire
super
3
not
on that Esper, as well as Mute. So not too bad. A definite step up from Demi and some Gray spell that I already forgot.
Yeah, well, it's a whole Casa del Fuego theme running here. House of Fire, full of something that is killed by fire, carrying a fire Esper. Pretty cool.
Fire. Fire good.
Yeah, the cutscene chest here in the camp. My suggestion to those watching at home, if you care to try, is leave it alone. It takes a long time, and the odds of it being something worth it are very low.
Yeah, that's one of the few chests in the game that I will essentially never pick up. The Sheeran fighting an Aloe Vera here, unfortunately using a Phoenix down on Strago instead of the monster.
Yeah, let's see if he might just be wanting him up for the experience points.
I don't
although
know
I'm
that
not
Aloe Vera
sure
gives
if
any.
Aloe Vera actually gives any,
Yeah.
but he might not know that.
Looking for another item. Turns out it's a tonic. Zeke finding Goddess, but at least has a non-thunder mains of offense.
Yep, this would be where I'd be cracking that flame shield, like, immediately.
Yep.
She appears to have super high magic defense also, because those spells are not hitting very hard.
Oh, poison rods are an interesting thing to stock up on. Gonna have to guess that Zeke found those before any other rod, because they're not that useful.
No. A lot of things can be damaged by poison, but the spell power on it is just so low, even if you ignore defense, it doesn't do a whole lot.
Yeah, even if you are using poison as an offensive option, mostly what you want is to cast poison a lot of times, so that the ticks at it.
Yeah, he does have a fire rod. We'll see if he gets to the point where he's going to crack his shield. I think he's out of options at this point, considering Strago's using
2 goddess statues on the screen at the same time.
You mean 2 statues?
2 goddess statues, yes.
Now 2 goddess statues. But there's
no,
also
now there's 3 goddess statues.
What are you talking about? Poltergeist is not goddess.
The statues are goddesses. One of them just happens to be named Goddess.
But it's clearly a dude.
Poltergeist is clearly a douche.
Oh, Doom.
I don't know, man. I didn't write the game. If I did, there would be fewer issues with spelling and naming.
Are you sure? I've seen you type stuff before.
Yeah, but then you tell me I'm great, so I just keep doing it.
It's because we like to laugh at you. Sorry to disappoint.
Well, now I feel bad. You better tell me I'm great.
So, Jax is also fighting Goddess.
Yep, a little less damage output on that screen, though. Looks like Krakow for Zeke. Poison Rod's got him through, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, luckily we've only found 4 total things, and at progress times 2, the enemies are no higher than level 10, so they don't have all that much HP.
Yeah, and if you have rods, this is one of the reasons they're very, very useful. They can get you through these bosses that would actually be harder if you came at them later. So we'll see what's at the bottom of Barren Falls. Looks like Asheron's going up to Narsh to possibly do Kefka at Narsh. And Javinator having some chicken. And it's a Yeti.
That's horrible, and I feel sad for these runners now.
Now they have 3 of the most maligned characters. If there's a Strago, there's an Umaro, there's a Mog. If we just had Gogo, they could have a whole party of the characters everyone hates.
Gao's number 2 for me.
Gao's a big question mark with the random commands.
Down goes Poltergeist for Javinator, making use of those Thunder Rods late.
That's 2 goddess statues down.
That's 2 statues down.
2 statues of goddesses down.
2 statues, period, down, period.
That's a bad sentence.
It wasn't a sentence. It was a declaration.
A declaration's a kind of sentence.
You're a kind
Unless
of sentence.
it's... Oh, thank you. I've been trying so hard to become a kind of sentence, but no one would give me credit. Like right now, you and everyone watching is being sentenced to me. And it might be cruel and unusual punishment, but there's no court of appeals for Worlds Collide.
Can't argue with any of that.
I mean, you could, you're just not trying hard enough. So, another Mount Colts. What were you saying? What?
Oh, I said Goddess turned Strago into a zombie, but he was still hitting, so it worked out okay.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes being a zombie just gives you more options. So, 2 people in Narsh. Well,
hey,
I mean...
Look, Sharon's gonna use that Pearl Rot. Oh, maybe not.
He is using a Tempest, which, with sufficient procs, is actually a decent way to get through this, but that's relying on a lot of luck. He's got a bunch of breakables, though. He could get through this just with items.
But he's gonna fight instead.
Of course. So, we have one person who doesn't have Mog going up to Kefka at Narsh, and one person who does. Gao is locked behind the Umaro check, so that's a sad sequence.
Speak of the devil. Hey, was that a flame shield on a Sharon screen there?
Oh no, Zeke is in World of Ruin Narsh. So dragons are unscaled today, so unlikely we'll see him try for that dragon. But then there's the Valley Garmanda check and the check that gets you Gao. Let us see what the Lone Wolf has. Oh, it's a Skulldurgan, he'll be fine.
Jex picked up a Cat Hoods along the way somewhere. Arguably the best hat in the game, which of course is a low bar, but
yeah,
fantastic.
That's almost inarguable, unless you have circumstances. There's a lock there at the Mog check, which is nice. Locke has some good checks and some good, maybe getting you a Paladin shield, and also some good equipment pool. The best equipment pool that isn't one of the girls.
Did you happen to see what the other item was in lieu of Locke?
Interestingly, I was looking right at that screen, and no, the answer is no. And Fire Durgan goes down. Fire 3 is learned as a Skulldurgan goes down. I may have conflated some things there. If you can get rid of a dragon early on, usually good to do. If you can do it very quickly, they have major bonuses, lots of experience, 50 MP, whatever they drop normally, and then a good quote-unquote item, although in this case it was just another Genji helmet. Or maybe a shield. It was a shield.
Well, he's pretty well geared up now.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be giving less trouble with these boss checks, especially after that dragon.
Exactly. Javinator getting to Kefka at Narsh here. We'll soon see what awaits there. Meanwhile, Zeke fighting some cranes, which after killing a dragon is going to give him 0 trouble with his Fire 3 spell and his Bolt 2 spell.
As long as he keeps the fire on the right and the bolt on the, fire on the left and bolt on the right.
Yeah, you gotta pick the right side for fire. See what I did there?
I did.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Not all my jokes are good enough that people realize they're jokes. Oh, time for everyone to take a break.
Or at least Javinator. We could let the other racers know that piranhas have been found and ask them to take a break. You know, moment of silence here, but
Seems like a lot of effort. Valley Garmanda is dead and yields an Esper. In this case, Starlit. One of the Espers that I don't really know what its effect is, aside from I think it heals you in some manner. And it's not good. It's got Berserk on it, I guess. That is situationally useful. Everything else on there is kind of a big old nothing. Some more tentacle issues going down on the right side of the screen. And another person taking a pass at that Skulldragon.
Sorry about that. Dog is trying to drink my alcohol.
Well, just give the dog its own alcohol. Why are you being so stingy?
But to answer your earlier question, it does, I think, somewhere in between Cure and Cure 2. Starlit. I don't think it's as powerful as Seraphim, which I think is a Cure 2, so...
Yeah, all those kind of healing Espers rarely see use in this rando, so I've essentially forgotten what they all do.
Looks like someone in the chat already said this, but I wasn't looking at the chat, so it's not my fault.
And here comes Heavy Gao. And a Senor Behemoth. As Rizopus goes down for Javinator. And Jack's apparently taking a reset on that Durgan. Unfortunately, Tentacles still presenting an issue for Sheeran. Javinator getting Kieran from that Kefka nurse check. So lots of Espers so far, and we are seeing the pathing for some characters, but...
Yeah, it's a pretty decent mix. And the characters they're picking up are low check characters, like 1 or 2. I think more, yeah.
Locke has 3, and 2 of them are incredibly fast, but at least one of them doesn't provide a character.
Right. But like Umaro only has 1 check, Mog only has 1 check. So their options are pretty limited, which is actually kind of a good thing, because now you know where to go.
Yeah, I do kind of consider Umaro a 2-check character, because you'd never go fight Valley Garmanda unless you really needed an Esper at the end.
Yeah,
without Umaro. Yeah, or the dragon. But Mog, no. No, that's 1 check. Kefka Nurse might get done. Maybe. I'm still going to avoid that Mog's check.
Sharon's running into some trouble with this last tentacle here.
Yeah, he's been jumping at it for quite a while.
Yeah, you can still take damage in the air, so you're going to have to be careful with that one.
Yeah, that's something I only found out about Poison whilst doing this randomizer. Jax's stream might have frozen here. Oh, no, there it goes. Or no, it doesn't.
Ish.
I'll look into that. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. I looked into it.
Okay, great.
And we have here a weapon shop check for Locke, which is going to give us Tritok or Magus Rod. Fairly easy choice. I did not see if he went into the Cursed Shield room, as I was busy looking into Jex's stream for that whole 1 second.
Yeah, and I was busy looking at his screen while you were looking into it, so I didn't see either.
Okay, well, he did not. So here it comes.
But we do know the Esper that he picked up is Garbo.
Yep. One of
So,
the least enjoyed Marx Brothers.
ooh, and a curse shield of 30. That's
Yeah,
not good.
that's not getting done.
That's going straight to the vendor.
Absolutely.
And it's only worth about, what, 2 grand? So,
Yeah, it's this 3-ish. Depends on the distortion, but it's
well,
not
on
worth a
scale
lot.
of 1 to 10 million, I was pretty close.
Yeah, but on a scale of 1 to 3,000, you were way off.
Well, luckily the scale goes a lot higher than that.
Yeah, you're real lucky. Whoever put you in charge of determining scales. Good job on the minor scale, by the way, and the Lydian. I like the Lydian scale.
So, Gal, that's the thing.
Gao is a thing, yes. It's another Senor Behemoth on the Veld as Jax fights the regular Senor Behemoth. Not on the Veld.
So let's see if we're fighting undead. Okay, so the no undead flag is indeed on, so cannot just chuck a Phoenix down or a Vivify at that behemoth.
Nope. Aegis Shield
Gotta do it
pickup for Javinator.
Ooh, and a nice 15, 20 grand in that chest as well.
Yep.
And 20 grand in
And
that
20
one.
grand. And here comes an imp on the Veld. Yielding with the dried meat. A thing. Asheron's finding Mog on the ghost train. That's his third character. Lagging behind the others a bit.
I finally learned that Mog has throw, which I haven't seen anybody use yet that I can recall, so
I have not.
Like this.
But throw is one of the better commands in the game. So it's 2 reasons to keep Mog. 1, he's a natural jumper, and 2, he has throw apparently. So
Nope.
getting some
the same problem that Jex had.
Yeah, so getting some chunkies on the streams.
What's the common link here? You have to wonder.
Zelda? That's got a common link.
You mean Mr. Entity?
No, I'm not in those games.
No, you're out of the common link. Goodbye.
Oh, that's a reference.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure many people are going to get that one. I don't know how popular that was here, but I would bet our UK viewers will get it. Hey, look, shurikens.
Hey,
he
look.
doesn't have Locke yet, so he's probably not going to buy any.
Locke had so much hang time on that one. So much hang time.
Ah, I'm caught up now. I see what you're talking about.
Yeah, I being the restreamer, I do have a few seconds over Boo. And all of the blame for what's happening, presumably.
Where else do you think it should go?
I mean, mostly to Jack.
I'm okay with that.
All right, no, we'll blame Jack. Okay, I may just reload Javinator's stream here.
Twiddle some bits.
That's what they pay me for.
Ah, looks like Gao comes ready equipped with Grand Train, so that makes him not completely useless. Of course, he probably only has enough MP to cast it once. And Jax made it through, picks himself up a Gao as well. And Sharon's making his way to the end of the Phantom Train. Probably want to use that save point there, just in case, but what is this? Piranhas at this one? I think that'll be fine. But typically, in the chance that you hit something like a poltergeist, typically want to save before you get here. It's kind of a long check to go through without it.
Okay, I have reloaded Javinator's stream. I don't think this is on my end. We do know that he lives in a quote-unquote semi-rural place, so this might just be his internet. I just saw a Grand Train.
No, that's a Phantom Train.
I see what you've done there. I found out a week or two ago, when there was a discussion about it, that train is called train because it's a mistranslation of trine, which is
trine. Yeah.
Is an astronomical term for some sort of triangular formation. So that attack makes a lot more sense when you know that.
I just always associated it with the pain train.
Which train is that?
The train.
Which train?
All of the trains.
Well, you do live in America, so yeah, that makes sense.
The pain train is coming. Ask Terry Tate.
I would, but I'm not allowed around him anymore.
Not looking good here for Asherin against Poltergeist.
Yeah, Asherin's been having some difficulties most of the way through. Jack's seemingly looking for a Mog there. I have recently started to think really hard about what the best actual way to run back and forth is. I think it's faster to run in a circle. I have no data on that, but it seems that you cover more ground more swiftly when you're not changing directions back and forth constantly.
Oh, look. Strago has 1 HP left. That's lucky. Maybe.
Well, now he can get hurt more.
Yeah. Now it's going to take longer for him to reset out of this fight, anyway.
Yep. Okay, Toysic getting another Magicite. Raiden. So that's Javinator, both of Gau's checks down.
Javinator took down a Dirt Durgan.
And Asherin took down the Poltergeist.
Very nice. See, jump is great.
I never said it wasn't.
There are some haters in the audience.
Well, maybe they should go watch a standing on the ground only stream.
Yeah. Get out of here. Get out of here, standers.
Yeah, don't make me get out my pogo stick that I definitely own.
It wouldn't surprise me one bit if you really did own a pogo stick.
I own a unicycle.
I bet you have a unicycle too.
Yeah, I just said I did.
Wow. Do you juggle?
I'm learning to juggle. If you'd like an interesting statistic about juggling, something like 75% of all the people in Britain hate juggling, but also 30% of people in Britain know how to juggle, which means there's 5% of people in Britain that know how to juggle and hate it.
Yeah, well, sometimes you got to do things that we don't want to. I don't know why juggling would be one of those, but it is.
I guess. That is not a fight you want to see. Ninjas and a lady.
But Gao does have Grand Train, so you could take this out.
Yeah. Javinator picking up something. It's an Esper. Ooh. And a rare instance of actually hearing the Tamasa song because it doesn't play in the World of Balance.
Ooh.
Train.
Trine.
Oh, sorry. That's just my accent.
A flare spell on Torado, which is a very slow spell, but
It can get you through some issues.
pretty high spell power. Can't be blocked, can't be walled, can't be ignored. I mean, it ignores defense, so it can do a lot for you, but it's very, very slow.
Yeah, it's like 13 seconds each cast. It's the slowest spell in the game. Ebbett's Rock check on the bottom left for Zeke. Meanwhile, Sheeran's about to pick up Lock. Unless he really wants that mystery bit.
It's tempting.
I mean, it's a mystery. It could be anything. It could even be Lock.
You have to look behind the veil to get to one's true self. And one's true self is Lock.
Well, yeah. Especially if he's wearing a veil. Picking up all the corals.
Also picked up an Esper with, I mean, it's been a while now. I forget which one has it, but we do have the Berserk spell, which I'm a fan of. It can come in very handy for, especially if you have a Strago start, because you never know when you're going to need to do Fanatic's Tower. Yeah. And also, you never know when you run into Magimaster.
Absolutely. And if you happen to run into number 24 at the weird point where you're not very strong and he's kind of strong, you can Berserk him too. Or turn him into an imp. Or almost every status effect works on him.
Stupid robot.
Is he a robot?
Well, yeah, I mean, I thought that was the assumption.
I thought he was just the 24th in the illustrious line of numbers.
I thought he was created in a Magitech facility, and he is number 24. And
I don't know where you're getting that from.
Because he's called number 24.
No, it's number the 24th.
I like the idea that he's a Sephiroth clone better. They were playing the long game here.
That's how the timeline for this series works. Ooh, Hiding in the Hidenites, the best band ever to come out of the 1940s and 50s. Most famous, of course, for writing the soundtrack for River City Ransom. And for starting Greaser culture.
Number 24?
No, Hiding in the Hidenites.
No, I don't buy that.
I mean, it's not for sale, so I can see why you're having difficulties.
Not buying what you're selling.
Yeah, but I'm not selling anything.
Trying to sell me a bill of goods.
I don't even know what a bill of goods is.
You should. It's what you're selling.
Yeah, I mean, it would probably help my business a lot. Can't be much of a salesman when I don't understand my own products. We have a Cyan coming out of that Ebbett's Rock check. Some solid checks on him. I looked away for half a second and did not see what was on that status screen for abilities. But pitching the Yeti is probably a good idea, assuming that Zeke knows that it's hard to take the equipment off of Umaro. Because Umaro was holding some good stuff. Okay, I was confused there for a moment, but he was just going to the World of Balance, presumably to heal up. Yeah, I don't really know what's going on with Jevinator's stream there, but whatever's going on, it's not going on well.
Someone rang my doorbell and my dogs are going insane, so be right back.
Okay, Boo is going down to put down his dogs, as they are annoying him, and that's just the kind of man he is. Torado got some Bolt 3 on it, and another spell that I immediately forgot when I was looking at it. And I am seeing Javinator Stream on its own is ahead of this, but still running real rough, so I don't think there's much I can do about that. In the meantime, we'll just watch the other racers who are having a nicer time of things. Re-latency and reliable interneting. Zeke here going for the leader check. Whilst Jex makes his way through the train, and Sheeran is working his way into Phoenix Cave. Well, it's not a character at Zeke's leader check, but there is an octopus. Presumably Zeke was teasing him earlier.
I think the barking's under control.
Oh, that's good.
It was an Amazon delivery person. They just really wanted me to know that the package was outside my door.
Your dog loves package.
Don't talk about my dog. It's weird.
Well, I don't have anything else to talk about. My life is very boring.
3.5 races being run right in front of me.
Where's that going on? I could get into that.
Has been confirmed in the chat, by the way, that Javinator does indeed live in the middle of nowhere. So, potentially,
well, surely
satellites are being moved.
But the middle of nowhere would, I mean, reasonably be the place where everyone in nowhere congregates.
I don't know that that's true.
Well, you want to live on the edge of nowhere?
Yeah. I like to stand on the edge of nowhere and peer off into the nothingness.
And maybe you'll see Javinator there one day in the distance.
With terrible internet.
Yep. Just dropping frames like they were hot rocks.
Excellent. I love that one.
I am a master of metaphor.
Can you tell it again?
Oh yeah, so dropping it like it was hot rocks.
I think normal Twitch people would ask for F's in chat.
I don't know what that means.
That means you've done a terrible job. And
Oh, well then that should have been going on since the start.
Begs the question though, why would somebody live in the middle of nowhere?
Well, like I said, if you're gonna be nowhere, you might as well be in the middle.
But why would you want to be nowhere? I mean, you can go off grid. I understand the appeal, but then you don't get internet. So, hey, look, Jex found Poltergeist.
Hooray! Another goddess statue about to be killed. Meanwhile,
is he pulling LNR trying to run from Poltergeist, or is it just the game?
That's probably both. Doomgaze here on Zeke's screen, one of the more obnoxious bosses, but he's got a lot of firepower, and I mean that literally.
Where was Cyan?
Cyan was...
You have a tracking sheet?
Yeah, it was... Sure I do. Tracking sheet doesn't have Cyan on it.
All right. No
wait,
problem.
there he is. Here's Ebbets Rock.
Oh, okay. I'm surprised more people haven't found Cyan earlier, because as far as Strago checks go, that's definitely the best one.
100%. As I said earlier, a lot of people really hate it. It does feel awful to do. You're just 100% in the hands of RNG. But unless it's a massive outlier, you're finishing that in under 2 minutes.
You're gathering the coral in under 2 minutes anyway.
Yeah, you get to the boss in under 2 minutes. That being said, I have had a 10-minute run through there, and it's awful.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's the worst. Especially when it takes you back to the chest like 6 times while you're collecting coral, and then you finally get enough, and it's just like 74 more switches before
Yeah,
you finally
here's the
get there.
entrance. Here's the entrance. Here's the entrance. Why haven't you left yet? Here's the entrance.
It's trying to tell you something.
Ooh, a rare use of
Terato.
Tirado as an Esper.
And we don't even really get to see it
No.
happen.
Uh,
Yeah, well, yeah, all right, it caught up.
yeah, one of those tentacles, apparently strong to Earth. That is one boss I would actually have to look up the stats for to tell you all of the absorptions and immunities.
The lower left can be instant death.
Yes.
The top right is immune to ice or thunder. Can't remember.
I think it's
Bottom
thunder.
right.
Bottom right is immune to
Bottom
fire.
right immune to fire. Yeah.
But I would not have known the Earth one off the top of my head.
Earth, not a. I mean, there's really not much Earth to use in this game. The gravity spells and whatnot, I think, count as an Earth elemental, but they have to be. You have to be able to instant death an enemy to use it also, so it often just does nothing.
Yep. Not an element that sees a lot of use outside of a couple places. And weirdly, a lot of things in the game are, well, some of them float, which means you can't. There's also a weird thing where earth elemental spells aren't necessarily ground-based. And then there's a lot of enemies that float or don't float, which are the opposite of what you'd expect. It's a big mess. And most people just ignore it, because that's the easy way.
That's my preferred strategy.
Yep. Ashirin, main strategy throughout the whole game so far is to have Strago just not on the screen.
It's been working so far. I mean, to a degree.
Not great, but he's getting through.
He hasn't not made any progress, so therefore, vis-a-vis, Strago's invisible and jumping. You can't tell if he's on the screen or not.
Oh, there's number the 24th.
Oh, there's the cat hood. That was the reward for Mount Colts.
And down goes the 24th number. Last scion of a noble lineage.
No, Scion's on the right. He's the little blue one, second from the top.
Locke?
What?
You're looking at a different right than I am.
You said down goes number 24. I was saying the right side of that screen.
You didn't specify that.
Keep up.
I mean, I'm quite slow.
Ashirin found himself a Bolt 3 Esper with Strength +2 on it, and the utility of it being Siren for the in-game. It's a pretty nice pickup.
That is a solid Esper. And Javinator going to Tizen. We might see him. Well, no, I think the thief there was like 50k in World of Ruin, so probably not going to be buying it at this point. Selling the Cursed Shield for 2,500 monies and some change. And Zeke going for Fanatic's Tower. Still
on that
needs...
scale of 1 to 3,000, I was actually closer than you thought. Equally as far away from 3,000 as 2,000.
No, it was 2,500 and change.
Nobody counts the change.
Well, I mean, cashiers do. If they don't, they lose their jobs real fast.
Trash can. Everybody knows that.
Well, now we can finally prosecute you for whatever that crime is where you desecrate money.
Hey, do you Canadians still have pennies?
Sure don't. We got rid of those ages ago.
Oh, that must be nice.
Yep.
I mean, not that we ever really use cash anymore anyway, but when we do, pennies are the worst. and the
100%.
smell.
There was the Monster Raving Loony Party in Britain once suggested having a 99-cent coin to save on change.
I think I have a few Canadian pennies lying around somewhere.
The last thing I did with my pennies was buy a small bottle of gin, I'm sure to the annoyance of everybody involved, including me.
Yeah, that's a good bet.
Because the weird thing about coins, and I don't understand why this isn't a thing, banks don't have coin counting machines. Or if they do, they don't let you use them to deposit money.
Oh, we do here.
Yeah, it's not a thing here. If you say I have some change I want to deposit, they go, here's some rolls. Get out here.
Oh, interesting. Because here, that used to be the case years ago, but one time I spent rolling up about $500 worth of coins, and I brought it to the bank, and they said, "That's cute. Tear all that off and dump it in the machine."
Oh, that's excellent.
A lucky miss there. The Cranes have this rare chance to use the Iron Ball attack, which does massive damage. Luckily, Ashirin managed to dodge it.
Yeah, it's one of those attacks that's so rare you kind of forget it exists until they do it, and then you go, oh, yeah.
You know, unrelated, but not unrelated, in a roundabout sort of way, related. I was playing a seed earlier today with the scaled random abilities on, and I ran into a Magimaster who wombatted me 3 times in a row in succession.
Oh, lovely.
You don't see that every day.
So he was really Wombat Master.
It was like the Wombat Lord.
Sounds like a terrible villain.
I don't know. I'd watch it.
I would too, but I would watch it for the same reason that I watched Abraham Lincoln Vampire Kill.
Oof. I didn't watch that.
It's not good.
Hey, look, Ashirin kept another character alive other than Strago for that fight.
Amazing!
Zeke about to find himself a big spicy chicken. Presumably he's in better shape to handle it than others would be. I think he'll be alright.
Yeah, but shrapnel right off the bat, not even doing... Ooh! Backwards moon jump from Strago. Nice. Showing off how much he's learned since the start of the seed. And...
Interestingly, I don't think anybody has had any real problems with the statues so far today, except for a couple very early resets.
Yeah, Javinator taking his second pass at Goddess the Goddess statue. Here. Hopefully has something that isn't Thunder Rods now.
He's gonna rely on Flare, which again will do the job, but start your stopwatch here.
I don't want to watch. Should I go get a watch?
I mean, they do have them on phones. Do they have cellular telephones in Canada?
Oh yeah, we call them hand computers.
Pocket electronic calculating devices.
Yeah, that's the thing they do. Okay, so Ashirin heading to Tamasa, maybe for the firehouse.
I know you are from a relatively small island, so maybe the technology just hasn't reached there yet. Hasn't made it quite across the boat ride yet.
Well, my computer is still coal powered. I mean, we're not super up to date. That's how I run Steam.
I got it. I wish I didn't, but I got it.
Yeah, I give lots of people things they don't want.
Ooh, you should stop doing that. That sounds bad.
Ashirin getting a visit from the repo man.
Pay your bills. Or just kill the repo man. It's a lesson for all of us.
That's the lesson to take away. That's how you deal with it, just like in real life.
And you'll also notice well, you may not notice now, but he made it through that first room with only one fight, meaning two of the flames just luckily went up and to the right, the only place on the screen where they can actually be avoided.
Yeah, that first room is real hard to get through without.
I don't think I've ever
Fighting.
not fought all three of them.
I've occasionally only fought two of them, but there's only a couple squares where they can stand where you don't automatically walk into them. One person going to Narshe, one person coming out of Narshe.
I wonder what's happening with this goddess fight. Are we up to date?
I have no idea. There's some Kieran being cast.
A little lifeguard. I believe that casts what, regen? On
Yeah,
the whole
it's
party?
a regen Esper. Probably the only healing Esper I ever use.
Huh. I like Seraphim's not bad.
I
It's not great.
could
but as
not
far
have
as
told
healing
you
goes-
what Seraphim did before you'd mentioned it earlier today. Thank you, Moon Blizzard, for the raid. Welcome to
Woo!
Worlds Collide, people.
Oh, speaking of which, we should give a plug.
I'm way ahead of you.
Then plug it.
I did a plug.
Plug it with your mouth hole.
That's not how my mouth works. It is a Final Fantasy VI randomizer. It's open world. Our people are trying to get today 10 Espers and 7 characters to unlock Kefka's Tower and go and fight the crazy Harlequin at the top. It's a real good randomizer. You should go check it out. There is a
Excellent
link
plug.
in the Discord. I've played it at least twice myself, and yeah, I thought it was quite enjoyable.
In one day. I was there last night.
I don't remember you being there.
I can confirm you've played it twice.
I can't confirm Boo was there.
Well, my name's on the screen, so you can.
I don't know. It could be the clone.
You literally sent me a message asking me a question about the run last night.
Well, that's because I thought you were watching. From a great distance.
I was watching while I was commentating.
I didn't hear any commentary while I was playing it.
That's true. I understand that.
Right.
I don't like it, but I understand it. Hey, why does Strago have so much more HP on his sharing screen than everybody else?
Yeah, I know, that's weird, right? But
Although,
we finally got into a fight where he can't win it just by jumping.
Gonna say, not today. Throw, however,
Ooh, flame saber.
will work.
Throw the flame
that
saber.
flame
What are you doing?
Yeah. No,
No,
do it.
no,
Just do it.
Pearl. No,
You can't. No, leave. Aw.
Can't believe they taped over the game. Javinator finding a Yeti. Doing a pose. And Zeke.
Using, I wonder if he has Fire Dance at this level. I'm not sure. He's got relatively low HP, so it's possible he doesn't. But he can throw that Flame Saber, which will ignore defense and give him some fire right to the face.
He's also got fixed dice, apparently.
He does have fixed dice. Use those. Yeah. Oh, but you can still jump with them. I would be jumping with those fixed dice because they, interestingly enough, do get the jump bonus.
Yep, anything that ups physical damage will affect fixed dice. So if you have Cat Scratch, fixed dice will make it do 9999 even more often.
Except for Atlas Armlets and Hero Rings. They, for whatever reason, they don't affect fixed dice at all.
Was not aware of that.
Yep, they do nothing.
Yeah, it's
Berserk works. Berserk will. Morph will. But not a Hero Ring, not Atlas Armlet.
every time I learn anything about this game, I then have to learn like 3 caveats.
Yeah. No, they want to keep you on your toes. Ooh, the awesome triple ones on those dice rolls, showing you exactly how good the fixed dice can be.
Yeah.
And to answer Moon Blizzard in the chat, K Toyzik on the lower left is currently ahead, at least in sheer numbers. I think it's safe to say he's in the lead because he has pretty decent offense, so he's not lagging behind for sure. But Jax on the top right is hot on his heel. As a matter of fact, this is kind of interesting. If you'll notice the trackers here, one character has 7 characters, 7 espers. The next one has 6 characters, 6 espers. The next one has 5 characters, 5 espers, and our current last placer, has 4 characters and 4 espers.
Yeah, but now it's ruined.
Well, just put it back.
Yeah, we'll
track it in our brains from now on. Don't worry about it.
Oh, here comes the Fanatics Tower. While 2 runners have just finished their things, and Javinator doing something. Finished a check of his own. Gonna very chunkily do a thing. But in the meantime, why not go follow our runners? They're good people. They're entertaining you tonight. Are you not entertained?
I'm entertained.
That's from that movie, Mercenary, I think.
Spartacus.
I've never heard of it. And, probably go follow the Restream team that isn't me. You've probably had enough of me by now.
Follow Ceiling Cat. She's putting in the work.
Yeah.
Mr. Entity doesn't deserve your follow, for his Restream is garbage. Or it's possible that Javinator's internet is garbage. One of the two, but the blame lies with Mr. Entity.
No, we decided earlier it's Jack's fault.
That's right. Throw garbage at Jack and give Mr. Entity a follow.
Also, Boo is here. Ooh, there's a Minerva.
Nobody likes that guy.
Minerva? I think that guy's pretty good. You know, what with being a goddess.
Cheetah?
Hey, that's harsh, man. When have I ever cheated on a stream?
Cheated? No, Barbara Minerva.
What?
Barbara Minerva. Cheetah.
That's gonna require a lot of explanation.
The DC Comics character Cheetah, her name is Barbara Minerva.
You mean...
Featured recently in the Wonder Woman 1984 movie, which happens to be a steaming pile of garbage.
I have not seen it. But also, it's not DC Comics, it's just DC. You nerd.
Well, I'm saying the character originated in DC Comics. Dork.
Yeah, but it's not Detective Comics.
The company is called DC Comics.
Well, then they have messed up heartily. Well, someone better be a moderator. I don't have those powers, but I do want you back famous.
Hang on, I kind of want to be famous, so leave this up for just a second while I copy this down.
Make sure you get all the diacritics.
Do we have any mods in here, by the way?
I do not know.
The Randroid. Have the Randroid do it. Is that Billy the Kid? What?
Yeah, also what? I only know Billy the Kid is a not good NES game.
I only know him as a character in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh wait, he's one of those Western dudes from Western times in the West.
William H. Bonney, played by Emilio Estevez in the hit 80s movie...
Emilio! Another perfect commentary from me tonight. If anyone wants to go back a week and watch the Weather Collides one, also perfect. So, yet another goddess being fought. Meanwhile, we're seeing our first Chatternook, I think. I don't recall seeing Chatternook earlier.
Nope. Definitely don't want to hit that girl, though. Wait till the demon comes out.
Yeah, the girl, I think she does have an HP cap, but if she hits it, she just comes back to life with full HP, so... There's no point.
Did at some point you say that you will make me or someone famous? because I understand the quote that's happening in the chat.
It's,
But,
it's
I
from
don't
that.
remember it being said.
It's from the bot. The bot.
Oh, the bot.
The bot's gonna make us
Oh.
famous. The bot is
Now
Billy
I
the
get
Kid,
it.
I guess.
Yes, I understand it now, and I like it. Because in the movie Young Guns, aforementioned, played by Emilio Estevez, his little tagline was,
Emilio! Oh,
and he'll make you famous by shooting you in the face.
that's Zeke with 10 espers, I think, now.
All right.
Which means Zeke is ready for the big time. The
Go time.
old
See if he
shaft.
decides to do any dragons or anything on the Mighty Duck guy. It's Have
Emilio!
some respect. Charlie Sheen's brother, for crying out loud. Or Martin Sheen's son. Which you'll notice more and more. Growing up, like in the 80s and 90s, he didn't look too much like the Sheen boys. But now that he's getting old and pudgy, you can see a lot of Martin in him.
What's that Sheen that's in that one thing? In Good Omens?
Oh, that is...
That's a good Sheen.
Yes, hang on. I know this one. What is his name?
Sheen.
He's also well, he's in quite a few stuff. He's in Michael Sheen. Michael Sheen.
That's the one.
He's also in the Tron sequel, Tron Legacy, which people don't seem to like, but I think is great, underrated, and you should watch it.
I have not seen any Tron movie ever.
Well, if you didn't watch the first one when you were a kid, the first one doesn't really hold up too well today. I tried watching it a couple years ago, and holy crap, it was boring. But the second one has a great Daft Punk soundtrack, and pretty well done, so just watch it anyway. It won't make a whole lot of sense as far as the plot goes, but you'll pick it up enough.
People ride electric motorcycles.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's all you need to know. Another cranes fight. Javinator. Looks like Zeke's just picking up some tents and final shoppies. I don't think we've seen much by way of healing spells or calmness protection. So the end of Kefka's Tower may present some issues. Zeke apparently taking the long way out of South Figaro.
You can cross that little bridge.
Is he in the World of Balance for some reason? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you can't get it.
Can't go to the right, but you can technically get there a little bit faster if you go behind the building there, which is not super apparent, but it exists.
Yeah, that's something I've only learned in the past couple months. So we have one person into Kefka's Tower. Meanwhile, Jex is at 7 and 6. Javinator at 6 and 5. I presume Cat's doing a reasonable job on that. And Ashirin at 5 and 5. So Ashirin a bit behind. Had a lot of issues towards the start, but not so far behind that he can't catch up. Maybe not for first place, but the other places are a bit more open to being taken.
Still up for grabs.
Yep.
Also, people should turn off those little yellow numbers on their emulators.
Yeah, I don't know why people have those. I think they're semi-required for like official speedruns of certain things, but I don't know why else you'd have them on.
Well, it's possible they do speedruns of other games, and they do require them, so I wouldn't remember to turn it off/on either. Or maybe they just don't care.
That is a possibility, or they don't think about it.
Also, Kat is upset with you, and she's doing a very good job. And I
said I presume she's doing a good job. I just have no idea with Javinator.
It's kind of messed up, man. I'm with her. Hashtag. Is that what that means?
Yeah, I think so. So, we have a Senor Behemoth taking some Aura Bolts. Strago's picked up a Lance at some point, which is going to be nice for Shirin's overwhelming strategy.
Yeah. I would also like to see in the chat, who, without you saying anything, Mr. Entity, People in the chat, what do you think that SR in front of Behemoth actually means? Theories. Possibilities. They're endless.
So do you just want me to not say anything for the rest of the stream? Because,
I mean, I've wanted that since we started, but...
well, I know
clearly
that, but... Because I could just go. And by go, I mean remain sitting here, but also not talk.
I mean, you're still talking, so...
Yeah, I know. It's hard to...
All right, you may speak. We'll let that happen for you.
Oh, thank you
Jeffrock's
for
gonna
your
need to be
gracious
careful
acceptance.
Jeffrock's going to need to be careful up here using those grand trains because Haydn will grand train you right back as soon as you take out all those Haydenites.
Yeah,
Although,
possibly
again,
not.
the spell power, not great. So not in big trouble, but he doesn't have a whole lot of HP either, so...
No,
It's
Haydn is
questionable.
really only an issue if you actually want to learn Grand Train from him. Which is actually sort of difficult to do with the scaled element or random element scaling.
Yeah, you have to be right in that sweet spot, right around level, what is it, 25-ish for him to use Grand Train, between 25 and 40 or so.
Yeah, it's lower than you'd think.
Right. Oh yeah, somebody, I can't remember who, somebody was complaining about Grand Train just a week or two ago, but he's using Quasar instead, so we won't see that. Quasar being of a lower tier. And we're at 7 characters, 6 espers, 13 times 2. That's level, he's at least level 26, or at least level 25, and he's using Quasar, so perhaps it was tweaked.
I was not paying any attention to what you said. I was looking at what the chat thinks Senor Behemoth's name is.
Awesome.
We've got
Well,
some votes for Senior, which is possible.
The correct,
It could.
the correct choice.
Is it?
Yes.
Did you write the translation for this game? Because we determined earlier that I didn't.
I mean, I helped.
Oh, well, that's nice.
No, I mean, unconfirmed. I really don't know, but I always assumed it was Senior.
When I was a kid, I thought it was Sir, and then I went to Senior, and then immediately went to Senor, because
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
the funny
Senior
one.
is the funniest one, and I will certainly grant you that. But yeah, we've got a Sir, we've got a Senior, we've got Super,
We've got Silver.
Silver Behemoth. That's haven't heard that one before.
Yeah, we are seeing K Toyzik up to the switches, so making fairly quick work of whatever the boss that was in Kefka's Tower was.
Oh yeah, that's a thing that he's doing.
Yeah, we're good at commentating.
I don't care too much about Senor Behemoth at this point, I think. So, Javinator picked up his 6th character in Gal. Jex is not too far behind Zeke, just needs a couple more, or really a few more Espers. And Ashirin making some progress, about to pick up another Esper as soon as he takes out Senor Behemoth. Dead? Undead? Senior? No, the second half of Senior Behemoth again.
The second half.
There you
Because he's conjoined twins.
I recently learned that when using scaled random abilities, and the first half of Senior Behemoth casts Quake on himself at just the right amount of HP, he will just kill himself dead, and the second half won't even show up. That was pretty handy.
Yeah, that's I will keep that in mind to 100% never have that happen.
Yeah, it won't ever happen, but it happened to me, and I loved it.
Well, we got Vergus and the Ipoos. The Ipoos, of course, already dead. And Vergus soon to follow.
What do you think an Ipu is?
I think it's probably like a bad IPA.
Probably like a bear if I had to guess, but where does that name come from? I'm gonna look it up.
Well, Winnie the Pooh.
It's like a smartphone app.
Yeah. It's a smartphone app that only lets you read Winnie the Pooh.
Well, if you Google Ipu, the only thing that comes up is Final Fantasy VI. So I imagine this is just fantastic translation happening again. But I want to know what. What was it supposed to be? Or maybe maybe that's proper nouns, and they're like Vargas named these things as Ipus.
It's just the name of the band. They are brown bears, though, so they could just be references to how Vargas made them.
Ipu.
Thank you, Boo, for making that extremely obvious.
Hey, look. An enemy used Sunbath. That's fun.
Yeah, that's not something you see very often. It is essentially Cure 2.
So Sharon is caught up with Javinator here, both at 6 and 6 now. And Sharon making good progress towards, let's see, what was at the end of Serpent Trench?
It was an Esper of some description.
We'll call it Starlet.
Entirely
Or
possible.
Crusader, or one of the other 25 I haven't said. It really doesn't matter.
We know it's not Fenrir or Golem because one of us would have seen Fenrir or Golem and gone, oh, someone found Fenrir or Golem. That's good. But a lot of the other ones are up for grabs.
Statue number 1 down for Zeke.
Yeah.
Making good progress here. It was a leader fight, so that was pretty tough.
Yeah, I mean, he is in charge for a reason.
See, Zeke also has an offering he's not making good use of, but certainly possibly doesn't have anything to use with it.
Yeah, I think the only thing we've seen that could be used with it is fixed dice, and I don't know where Ashirin got his, but they were for sale somewhere.
Yes, I thought we saw them at first on Zeke's screen for sale, but I could be wrong about that. Or maybe he just decided not to buy any, which is also possible.
It would almost not occur to me to buy fixed dice. They're very expensive, and by the time I have that much money, I probably don't want to spend it on fixed dice.
Yeah, it just depends on how the seed is going for you at the time, I guess.
Yep. Sometimes it's what you gotta do. Like that anti-Jack flag thing where Jack bought many fixed dice. When his...
Yeah, I did that. And I wish I didn't.
Yeah, but, you know, sometimes they'll get you through some stuff. Sometimes it's the best solution you can buy.
Sometimes you eat the bar, and
Sometimes the bar eats you.
that's right.
You got any good sarsaparillas?
Sioux City?
This is a good one.
Carrot. So that rabbit just threw a carrot at Strago and the old man.
Well, now they've got some food.
Looks like Javinator's making use of a rage ring. Don't see that every day. It's not exactly an uncommon item, but to have both the Yeti and a rage ring, that's kind of fun if you make the horrible decision of making, or using the Yeti.
Ah, something we also don't generally see. He's attempting to do the dried meat check in the World of Ruin. There are some checks you can do in either world. For example, Setzer's Kolingen check, Celeste's basement check, this
Burning
felt
House.
check, Burning House can be done in either one. I do not know if you can do the Zozo one in the World of Ruin, but Dadaluma is there.
No, you cannot.
Okay, then he's just there for show.
It's blocked off somehow.
Probably. The point is, there's a bunch of them, and I'm probably forgetting a couple, because people have told me some before, and I've gone, and then I've just never done it.
Let me pull up my tracker here and see if I recognize any. Collingen, you said. Felt,
Yep.
you said. The Figaro throne.
Ah, yes. Ashirin picks up Raiden from the Serpent Trench. Kay Toysik going to fight another non-goddess goddess. Curly Larry and Mo, one of the more annoying fights if you don't have a bunch of magic or attack power. And we are
Yeah.
told by chat that there is a drunk guy on the ground in front of the door in Zozo. I've always just presumed that those people were dead.
Yeah, me too. Or, well, actually, no, I thought they were sleeping. I think they were bums, because he says, you know, people like to lie and cheat and lay around and be lazy and stuff, something like that. Yeah, and if you talk to them, they talk, so that was a terrible assumption.
I mean, the ones in the base game don't.
Yeah, huh?
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, huh?
Nuh-uh. It's honestly been so long since I played Vanilla that I've forgotten many things about it.
Uh-oh, here comes a Delta hit for Zeke. On the
That's,
character he probably doesn't want to have Delta hit.
One of the reasons you do not want to fight this boss with a small unprepared party.
Yep, should be using that Thunder Shield on the top stooge and get rid of him immediately. For not only is he the one that does the healing and does the resurrecting, but it takes all three of them for them to Delta hit. So always take out the top one as soon as humanly possible. And you can't do it with fire because he absorbs fire.
Yep, here comes Airblade. One of the lesser used but better blitzes in the game.
It's okay. It's not bad.
It's basically what you move up to instead of
Horrible.
Horrible, yeah. If you don't have Bomb Rush, Airblade's kind of your best bet. I so rarely have a chance to use it that I don't actually know what the button presses are, though. So usually by the time it comes up, you've got a better way of doing damage.
Airblade is up, up, right, right, down, down, left. It's basically Bum Rush, but without the initial forward.
Presumably, you're leaving out some diagonals there because you don't actually have to press the diagonals.
Correct. Yeah, you would theoretically spin it in a 3/4 circle, but on a crappy old SNES D-pad, that's virtually impossible. So just tap a direction twice and it counts.
Yep, it's one of those little quirks I did not know before doing Worlds Collide. But
I think I found out about it when the game first came out to mobile. If I recall correctly.
Doesn't mobile just let you pick the blitz from a list?
Not that I mean, it's been several years since I played it, but I don't think so.
I seem to recall someone telling me that when they were complaining about it. I've never played it myself, so I can't super comment.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think so. I don't remember choosing blitzes. But yeah, for Full Metal Otaku, yeah, playing on a keyboard is just awful. So yeah, I don't even know how you can manage directionals on a keyboard. So yeah, just double tap the cardinal direction, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, the JRPGs and stuff aren't that bad on a keyboard. I certainly played a lot of stuff I didn't necessarily have access to when I was a kid on a keyboard. And yeah, you just don't want to be playing like Mega Man X or something, which is also a thing. It's awful.
Yeah, I mean, gamepad. You can find gamepads cheap. Just get one.
You couldn't back then.
Well, I meant now.
Yep. I use my Switch Pro controller. Although I've actually moved on from that to an 8-bit DOE gamepad, which is very good. It's essentially a SNES-shaped controller, but with analog sticks and double LR. It's quite nice.
Huh. I use an Xbox controller because I used to have an Well, I mean, I guess I technically still have it, and it works on PC. So there you go.
Yeah, 360 or 1?
This is a 1.
Okay, yeah, then the D-pad from that is actually a massive improvement over the 360.
Yeah, the D-pad on the 360 is unusable, so I threw that away all time ago.
But we finally have someone at Final Kafka. K Toysik taking on the first tier. Jex still needs 2 Espers. Ashirin, a character, and 3 Espers, same as Javinator. But Ashirin's about to get one here. I don't think we've seen the Doomgaze reward before. I don't recall seeing this fight, so I don't know. But it will either be in it. There's another one of those blitzes you don't see used very often. Apparently, K Toysik knows how blitz works.
Is RLRLXY. Well, it's just that RLRLXY.
Yes.
It's not a great blitz for healing. Like, if you got nothing else, then sure. But what it's especially useful for is if you get trained at the final fight.
Yes,
it will store status effects.
It is also a remedy for everyone who isn't 7. Doesn't look like a lot of damage is getting put out here by Zeke, which is unfortunate. Throwing GP at the last boss is... I mean, I guess you've got the money, but...
You're in trouble at that point, I think.
Yeah, and offering with a lance...
There were Dragoon boots around here somewhere.
There were Dragoon boots, and there's also access to level... There's level 2 and 3 spells.
He's got jump on Strago. I wonder what weapon he's using. Maybe he has 2 lances, or maybe he's using the fixed dice. I'm not sure. But yeah, offering with a lance is not... I mean, it's not nothing. Like, he's still doing, what is that, 3,500 damage per turn? So it's not the worst thing ever.
It's not nothing, but...
But you can't target with it. You can trigger counterattacks. It's not optimal, for sure.
Yeah, and when there are level 3 spells laying around, maybe he just didn't move the Espers around much.
That's possible.
Sabin has Fire 3 on him, but he's mostly been using him to heal. He's at least got Odin. So apparently multi-Esper is on, because he used that in the first tier.
Yeah, and we'll be curious to see how we deal with calmness.
Yeah, it might just be hope.
Yeah, I think that's what we're relying on here, which is honestly the funnest part.
Javinator has found your favorite item.
Yeah. Ooh. See, that's what Locke should have on Zeke's screen.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think Javinator's the only one that has fought that fight. There was no Setzer, so that was just a natural find of Doomgaze.
That's a tough one. I usually find that fight naturally on my way to Kefka's Tower.
Doomgaze is kind of the reason I save too much.
Right.
Because anytime...
As soon as I get to a point where I think nothing can kill me, before every boss now, I just check the menu to make sure I'm not level 5.
Fair enough. But I meant more that I just got into the habit of saving everywhere in the World of Ruin because I got super messed by Doomgaze fights early on in the rando, just randomly.
Yeah.
It's just stuck in my brain now, and it's one of the things I have to work on.
Yeah, my starting route used to be to go directly to World of Ruin to get Albrook and the other South Figaro, just to be different. But then you get Doomgazed after you've spent 5 minutes shopping and stuff and haven't saved, and then it's a bad time. So I don't do that anymore.
Yeah. There used to be a very distinct meta to the game. And one of the weirdnesses that came out of it was some people would, as you say, go to the World of Ruin South Figaro just on the gamble that they got something there that the other people wouldn't, who went to the World of Balance one. This was, of course, before Atma added in the evolved treasures that would show up if you did not get them in the World of Balance in the vanilla game.
Right. Jack's grabbing that lump of metal chest and heading outside. Okay, he's going back for it now.
Yeah, not much reward for that. That is one of the rooms a lot of people will skip. There's only 2 chests in there, and it takes a little while to get them. Zeke still on tier 2 with a zombie and a frozen dude. Not something you want to see.
Yep, gotta take Tiger out. Tiger being weak to ice, so fire doesn't work incredibly well, but I don't think we have much ice available here, so just doing what he can.
The spells in this were pretty heavily skewed towards one element.
Fire and thunder.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. We've seen Fire 3 and Bolt 3. I've seen Fire Rods and Thunder Rods. Haven't seen any ice yet.
Was Bolt 3 available? I don't recall seeing anything that wasn't Bolt 2.
Yeah, I think Asheron found a Bolt 3 Esper.
Ah.
Not sure where, but I'm pretty sure I think I even said it out loud. Hey, look, a Bolt 3 Esper.
And then I paid no attention to you like I normally do.
As usual.
Jack's taking the path I hate taking to get through that bit of Cyan's Dream. I just go backwards there because there's less fiddliness.
Yep, just go up instead of down, and then out.
Yeah, we're getting a Welk fight over on Asheron's screen. Jax just needs one Esper, so this, I think, will get him where he needs to be to go to KT.
Oh, shouldn't use jump on Welk. Oh, he didn't. Okay, good.
No, he used Kill Welk on Welk. Asheron, the only person to have found an extra character, interestingly.
Yeah, we gotta wonder where that is. He's taken a slightly different route, considering he also found that aforementioned Bolt 3 Esper that I don't think anybody else has, so be curious to see.
He also has Life 3 and Cure 3. Spells other people don't have, so he will have calmness mitigation and a way to heal during the final fight.
That'll come in handy. Other than mantra, anyway.
Yeah, just a little bit of an upgrade.
So I think, okay, he's using the offering. I was going to say, I think Zeke has magic muted the guy on the left there, but he was still attacking him, so, but it turns out it's because he can't aim. And FYI, in case anybody didn't know, hit the guy on the right can be stopped. So
I didn't know that.
Yep, you can just stop. He'll still do 10 hits. Hey, look, there's Bolt 3. Oh no, that was the enemy.
There's 10 hits.
So he'll do 10 hits when he dies, but he won't do anything else. So
I did see Life 3 on that Sabin, so I guess Zeke has some access to that. I don't know how many characters have it. But that will be a way to get through calmness.
Very slow way, but I guess better than nothing.
Yep. And Asheron going for the auction house. Getting unlucky on the first one. Oh, there is a Valiant knife in there, though.
Ooh, very nice.
So...
That's a good pickup at any price. Do we know if he's in the world of Ruin?
I would presume so, but I was not looking. Javinator taking a reset there. And, yeah. Jax is now ready for Kefka's Tower. So, if Asheron can get the Espers he needs out of the auction house, there might only be one. Sometimes there's 0, and that really messes with you. But in this case, there's a Dirk.
That's an expensive Dirk.
Yep. Especially considering the cost of the Valiant knife.
And considering, I think he also has an offering, perhaps. Very good pairing.
Yep. Zeke on to tier 3.
She's electing to not buy that chip, which means it still can show up again. So.
Yeah, Sharon also not making use of the slightly faster method of saving outside of town, and then if it's not... there's two basic ways. You either buy everything in the World of Ruin so they don't show up anymore, although that does make imps more prevalent, or you save outside of town, and if you see a treasure chest, you just immediately reset.
I think he's in the World of Balance. and so buying this stuff doesn't really do you any good.
No, they will show back up. Although in this case, I think that could be used. Oh, Javinator received a pie.
Oh, that's nice. I like pie.
Oh,
Coral pie.
that doesn't sound good. That sounds like a way to break people's teeth.
What if it's just a coral colored pie, but it's actually filled with something delicious?
Like what?
Like peaches.
I don't know that I've ever had a peach pie.
Well,
I'm not from the American South enough.
yeah, well, I am, so they're delicious, and you should have one.
My favorite pie is made of coconuts.
Usually find peaches in cobbler, not pie, but they're
Oh,
virtually
cobbler good.
I also like coconut pie, coconut cream pie, coconut meringue pie. Either way, I'll take. Really, I just like pie of any sort.
Pie good.
Pie R square.
I mean, not usually.
Pie R round. Cornbread R square.
I don't know that I've ever eaten cornbread.
What?
I'm not from the
Jeez.
American South enough.
What do you eat up there? Yaks and mussel?
We eat caribou and snow.
Sounds pretty good.
Although where I'm from, we do technically have, world-class seafood. Which, I can buy lobster for like $5 a pound. And then I see people paying like $40 for it, and I go, oh, you've just wasted your money. Not only because it's not very good, but also, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, but you've also never had cornbread, so what would you know?
I know that the American prison system still has rules on the books that limit the number of lobster meals you can feed to a prisoner in a week.
Sounds reasonable. They're expensive.
No, when my grandfather was growing up, if his family ate lobster, they had to bury the shells in the backyard because if anybody saw them in the trash, they would just be utterly reviled as the poorest people in the world. And now it's for rich people.
Right. Well, that happened like 100 or 200 years ago.
That happened with the advent of canning and trains in Canada. It looks like Javinator's had an actual disconnect.
Yeah, that's not good.
Whirlwind coming at Zeke.
And Jax is in Kefka's Tower officially, so looking at the end soon as Sheeran is hot on his tail here. Only needs 2 more espers. I think he might have given up on the option
Yes, I believe he elected to run to Owzer's mansion.
because
it was
not
there,
good.
I guess. I think. Oh, there's a Valiant Knife. So he bought the Valiant Knife.
Yes, I did see him buy it. I was hoping he wouldn't. He would go outside and save it so he could do the reset strategy, but instead he just didn't.
And there's his Bolt 3 Esper. It also has Bio on it. So he's definitely got some spells. He just needs to hurry up and find a couple more Espers here.
Life 2, Life 3, Berserk. Like, he's got all the spells he could possibly want. Fire 3 and Mute. All kinds of stuff. Good to go there. Yeah, just find yourself an Esper, young man. Oh, Javinator's back.
And is in Kefka's Tower?
Oh, yeah, that can't be right. Is he hosting somebody?
I have no idea what's going on right now. This is why I said I presume Cat's doing a good job.
Well, Cat's seeing what we're seeing, and so if his stream is messed up all the time and we're not catching up, and really we were just half an hour behind the action, I don't think you can put that on Cat.
Oh, I can't.
Okay.
What I meant by that phrase was, who knows if it's correct. But yeah, Javinator's at the switches at the end, so final Kefka.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it makes sense,
Uh-oh.
given how laggy his stream was and continues to be.
Zeke is having big problems here in Tier 3, suffering the wrath of the media spam without the benefit of a lot of damage. So here's the strategy for anybody in this particular situation where all your characters are low and Sleep is medioing you to death. Use an X potion on Sleep. Get him, restore some HP and get him out of the medio phase, and then you can heal up and then do damage again.
Yeah, that's not a strategy a lot of people would think of. So often the restream team or whoever's commenting will say, "Oh, yeah, this is the thing you could do." It's rare to see someone actually put that into practice. A lot of the time, you're just panicking at that point.
Well, get good.
I mean, I'm okay.
All right. Well, he made it through. He took out his jumper, which is kind of a bummer, but
Yeah, but 3 characters getting through with, I mean, he did have life 3, but considering how often his characters were getting killed there, I don't think he put it to much use.
yeah, I think that's a fool's errand at that point, putting up life 3 to just die again. So just take him out and deal with the 3 characters you got. And he's replaced by a decently leveled character also. Seems to have plenty of HP, so he'll be all right. Jack's doing a gold dragon inside the tower for some late levels in gear.
Yeah,
Not the worst strategy.
if you can get rid of a Durgan in 2 or 3 turns, often worth doing. If they're scaled, they're super worth doing, which is why they're not usually scaled anymore. Because people were using them too much for meta.
Yeah, they're just way too easy scaled. They're, especially if you have like scaled element on early game, they're casting bolt 1s and they only have 2000 HP. So
yeah, they're basically a rod away from death.
Yeah.
And Javinator's stream is down again, I guess. But ooh, an Inferno fight for a Sheeran. Let's see if Jumping Strago can get through that.
He's leveled up some other characters by now.
Mantra coming out, solid use with the blindness and stuff. Also some shield breaking going on.
And some pretty decent heals should be. Well, I mean, not great, but
yeah, this has not been a high offense or high not offense. See, another train, blues train a coming, and another Mantra, queued up at a very useful time. Inferno goes down. Whatever Jax was fighting is dead. Javinator's.
That brilliant knife.
Oh, just in time, he gets an experience egg.
At its peak usefulness.
Yeah, that egg is fresh. Javinator moving into Final Kefka fight as hopefully Zeke gets through his Final Kefka. There's a Beyond Chaos. So Ghana will be upcoming, but maybe he can poop out enough damage to get rid of him.
Turd hats.
What did you call me?
Turd hats. He can poop out enough damage.
I find that insulting.
Well, it was supposed to be, so good.
Oh, well then, good job. Javinator also has Bolt 3, as well as Grand Train, so maybe a faster time getting through Kefka here than Zeke had.
I hope Javinator steps in for an interview while we're still watching him do Tier 1. Hey, he's got Bum Rush also. Cool.
Yep, a lot of things happened while we weren't able to watch. Palador coming out there on Zeke's screen. Interesting
Nice.
play.
Well, he avoided a Havoc Wing, so I like it.
Yeah, but might be getting 4 counters here.
It's possible, yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Apparently... Oh, no, wait, that was just a queued up fight. Hyperdrive down. And Sabin for another 2k. Also a hyperdrive to the face.
And you're dead.
And another hyperdrive to the face. This is going about as badly as it could.
This is the worst case.
Into Beyond Chaos. If this Fire 3 doesn't do it, then Zeke's gonna have to... Zeke.
Start over. Or...
No.
No. No. No. Rip.
That is...
Sheeran went back to the auction house for that Esper strategy and
Nice.
found an imp robot, so that's going
Hooray.
well for him.
Yeah, 3k. Zeke taking a wipe
Yeah,
there.
That's pretty rough, man.
Yeah, you're not... I think it's like a 30% chance to get hyperdrived, a 30% chance to ultimate if you're at that point, and a 30% chance for it to do nothing. So 3 hyperdrives in a row, not good luck.
That's pretty bad, yeah. I think if you're going to use the Palador strategy, you got to queue up turns before you jump.
He had it queued on Locke. Locke jumped and
Locke,
then hit with the offering, but that was all that was going on there. The Sheeran into the sealed gate. Apparently found Terra somewhere. Jax killed the other dragon for some marble shoes. And Javinator presumably fighting Kefka in some fashion. Not anymore.
So. Rumor is he's still fighting there today.
Well, I mean, it's still today.
So what I said was accurate.
Yeah. Just unnecessarily specific. Okay, so Katoizik taking another pass. And hopefully has a bit better luck. Meanwhile, Ashirin making his way through the sealed gate, still looking for those Espers. Auction house not being nice to him.
Yeah, you got to go to the World of Ruin and you got to spend big money. That's about the only way the auction house, unless of course your name is Zelfer. Zelfer85. Then you just walk in and get 2 Espers in 25 seconds and you leave.
Yeah, I've never been a super big fan of the spend all the money in the world strat. I know it's faster, but you need all the money in the world. And I usually don't have it.
Yeah, well, get it.
No, I just reset and try again. Yeah,
That's
I've never
one way
heard
to
of
do it.
Zelfer either, chat. I think Boo's just making people up. I mean, you did say it was a character.
He is quite the character.
Aegis
And,
Shield, not much else in that little room for Ashirin.
There's never anything good in that room. I don't even believe their Nature Shield came out of there.
Yeah, but it's 4 or 5 chests in like 10 seconds, so.
Yeah, I always check it, and I always leave disappointed. Just like an inappropriate joke I'm thinking of. You
I
get it.
wish I was thinking of it.
No, you don't.
Ah, well then, I'm glad. Oh, an Illumina for Ashirin. Possibly the best
Yay.
item in the game, but also very much not what he wants.
Yeah, boo.
Yeah, that's you.
But look, it's so good.
And now he can put Mog in the back row.
Yeah, let's see. Zeke giving it try number 2, still rocking the Arlance offering combo there. Yeah, his magic power, he's got the spells, his characters are just not natural casters.
Yeah, even Strago, who is technically a caster, doesn't have that great of magic power. Locke has pretty much the worst stats in the game, aside from speed. Sabin's only good at strong, although weirdly he is, by ability, a caster. And Gao has
Gao's good at
alright
nothing.
magic power.
He's good at absolutely nothing, except for riding the pine.
That sounds like an inappropriate joke.
It's not.
No.
It's an American baseball term for sitting on the bench.
Are all the benches made of pine? That seems
Not
weirdly
anymore.
specific.
They're usually aluminum, but back in the 20s.
Oh, I much prefer the phrase riding the aluminum. Especially because it'll piss off the Brits.
Would you prefer riding the aluminium?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to say that. This sounds
You
stupid.
just did.
No.
Ashirin has found Atma. Meanwhile, Javinator onto tier 2 and seemingly not experiencing massive lag anymore.
But is he still in the right spot? Because he's actually been on tier 1 for quite a long time.
Yeah, well, I have no idea.
It's possible he just didn't have enough offense, but my guess is he's somewhere around the end of tier 3 right now. But we basically just have to watch the Discord and find out when he finishes.
And then we will have questions.
And then, yes.
Basically, we will need an audio commentary on his entire stream so that we can go in and replace our own voices later. So, tier 1 still for K-Toyzik. Oh, no, just on to tier 2. Atma going down for Ashirin. And Jax.
I really hope it's an Esper for Ashirin. He's been working hard at finding these last two for a very long time.
Yep, it's not been going great for him.
But he's learning all kinds of spells and getting all kinds of levels.
Well,
so
he has Stray, which teaches Doom and Pearl and Whirlwind, which he already knows all of.
Cool beans.
Zeke's got an Imp. Not as bad as that could be. At least Imps can heal themselves. And Javinator's got a Yeti. A frozen Yeti, which is the worst kind of Yeti.
How do you freeze a Yeti?
Well, first you hollow it out, and then you fill it with ice.
Are you talking about a cooler or a cup?
No.
Okay, then I don't know what you're saying. Moving on, Ashirin has a Magic +2 Esper that also contains Cure 3. So
Javinator has 7 flame shields.
Hey, they were for sale somewhere, so he undoubtedly went and bought them.
Yep.
We saw that right at the start of the seed, and those are surprisingly useful. More so to break than to wear, but
Well, yeah,
especially
there's no
for
reason
the,
to have more than 4 to wear.
well, what I mean is for the final fight, hardly anything uses fire. There's like an S-Cross from one of these tier 2 guys.
Yeah, Senor Cross.
And then there's Merton, and that's, I mean, I guess technically Kefka can cast Fire 3, but he rarely ever does.
Yeah, Kefka's got some moves that almost never get pulled in.
Point being, just break them. They do a lot more damage at the enemy than they do help for you.
Yep. It's just not often you see someone with an inventory full.
That's true.
You're much more likely to see people with like 30 rots.
30 rocks?
I know that's a television show.
I assumed you would be a big fan of that show. I think it's right up your alley.
I don't like when things are up my alley. I have to see Doctor about that.
Hey, look, Ashirin found his last Esper somewhere.
Yay!
Finally, so he's going into the tower, and presumably shouldn't have too rough of a time considering he's level like 91. That's okay, Cat. You're allowed one miss.
Yeah, it's hard to keep track of all the things. Unless you're Franklin.
Even Franklin misses sometimes. Oh, look, Strago is jumping on his own people. That's kind of funny. On Zeke's screen there, he's been zombied.
Strago loves jump.
Dropped a knife on Gao's head, which did basically no damage, unfortunately.
I mean, he's in the last battle. Give him something.
I mean, he's in the last battle for the second time.
Yeah, it's not going well for him this time either, particularly.
That's because he's using Gao.
And Strago.
Yeah. Yeah, he really needs to start breaking those things. Like, I understand the wanting to hold on to him for later fights, but you got to make it through this one first. So.
Yeah, tier 2, if you can't get rid of some of the bits quickly, is quite dangerous. Tier 3, more obviously dangerous, but that's really only at the final part of it. Tier 2
Right.
can just ruin your day the whole way through. So, Sheeran finally making their way up through Kefka's Tower, moving past Atma, presumably suffering from some sort of indigestion in the toilet. Jax fighting number 128, the 128th of the noble number lineage. Which means number 24 must be real old. I mean, there's so many greats in that grand.
Train. No?
I like trains. And there's one that you can look at.
That's a trine.
Why? I don't know the difference. That was not taught to me at school. There haven't been any trains in my province in like 60 years.
I mean, you live on an island.
Yep. We
Hard to
do.
build trains over to islands.
There were trains. Now we just have a whole bunch of trails.
How far away are you from the mainland?
Uh,
Or how far is the border of your island from the mainland, I should say?
like a few kilometers.
What the hell's a kilometer?
It's
What's that
when you
mile?
have 1,000 meters.
1,000 what?
Meters.
What's that in feet?
3.2, I think. 3.2-ish.
So 1,000 times 3.2. This is hard. You should just get on the imperial system.
My car gets 80 chains to the hog's head, and that's the way I likes it.
Hey, look, Javinator is making it up to final Kefka here, and it looks like we have indeed caught up with the stream, unless, of course, he wiped and reset, because he has not ended the race officially yet, so we're not that far behind, unless, of course, something disastrous has already happened.
Yeah, his dead Sabin is replaced with a dead Lock, and Jack's about to enter Tier 1. Meanwhile, Zeke's still plugging away at Tier 2. Not having the best time. And because of that, his time won't be the best.
I've seen worse.
Well, you had to watch me twice yesterday.
Testify. Hey, there's those flame shields we were talking about.
Yep, that's gonna be some 10k-ish damages. Just gotta hope that Umaro's not gonna screw him.
Yeah, that's always a concern with Amaro. And it didn't quite do enough damage to avoid the fallen
Oh,
one. So.
there goes his Cure 3 person. And, well, he's at least into Beyond Chaos. But, doesn't look... Now's not the time to Phoenix down, man. Doesn't look like he has any healing. So, I think he's just gonna Flame Shield and hope.
Somewhere. I'm pretty sure I saw an elixir in there somewhere, but maybe not. Oh, this... Dude, you can't... You haven't done that much damage.
Yeah, not good enough. That is a wipe for Javinator, so we may indeed still be behind on his stream.
Well, now all of a sudden, the Sheeran not in terrible shape. Jevrox could potentially, depending on how his offense appears to be better than Zeke's at a cursory glance.
Yeah, but Zeke's...
Sheeran, ooh, just Sheeran pulling out the pummel strats on Vargas there.
Yeah, Locke
Big
also pulling out the pummel strats with his apparently not having a weapon equipped for his punching with
Huh.
with the offering punches.
What happened to his Aura Lance?
Might have been a Pearl Lance.
No, it was an Aura Lance.
Then I don't know what he did with it.
It was a Pearl Lance.
See, look at
different.
him doing punches. Punch, 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 punch.
He must have. I wonder if he put the Aura Lance on Strago. I would assume that Strago couldn't.
No,
equip
it's just
it
sitting in his
because-
inventory.
Okay, well that's a bold strategy. Has somebody told him? Can somebody tell him? Somebody send Zeke a message and tell him to equip something.
Yeah, that's odd.
There's a whole lot of wackiness going on in Kafka's Tower tonight.
Yeah, people are not having a fun time with the end parts. It does look like Jax has found an offering for his fixed dice. So, if he can manage to roll a number that gives him more than 1,000 damage, that might be useful. You know, we'll see about that. Javinator, again showing us his inventory is just full of things to break. And, oh,
Who's doing it?
for a moment there, I thought Zeke had gotten Grand Trained, but it turns out it's the other way around.
Yeah, since the final fight is not scaled, they always use their vanilla commands. So no grand trains available, unless
No,
of course you scale Kefka.
yeah, Jack's moving on to tier 2. So, considering how long Zeke spent in tier 1 and tier 2, making up some definite time, might be our winner. And, you know, while we're watching this repeat of Kefka, why not go give our runners a follow? And why not go give Ceiling Cat a follow? You know, they're probably the most important member of this restream team. And
Cannot argue with that.
go play the game. Just go play the game. I mean, not now. Watch till the end of this, and then go follow Ceiling Cat and all the runners, and then go play the game.
Find out in our exciting conclusion, and then go play the game.
Yeah. I mean, you know me. I wouldn't tell you a bad game.
That seems like the opposite of what I know about you. Don't you play games that cost a surprisingly low amount of money, presumably because they're so bad?
No, the whole point of that series is that there's amazing games for very cheap.
Whose definition?
Of good or cheap?
Yeah. Well, yeah. The first one.
Mine?
There you go.
Yeah, well, I'm incredibly critical.
We just had. I want to point out also that these 4 are not the only 4 running the race tonight. We've got a bunch of racers off stream, and I wanted to point out that interestingly, 2 of them just finished within 12 seconds of each other, which is for a 2-hour and 20-minute race, probably pretty hard to do. So that's kind of neat.
They're probably collaborating. And that's a dead Strago on a Sheeran screen. You don't want to take a single character into a Delta hit fight.
Nope. And yeah, he's gonna need a way to take out that top stooge real fast. Otherwise, he might be forced to warp out.
Yeah, he'll need to move some equipment around or find something to break.
Yeah, you know, you put a ribbon on, perhaps,
If he's got one.
if he's got one.
Sitting on a Moogle Charm, 'cause of course you gotta have one, and a Merit Award, interestingly. I wonder what he's got equipped.
Although he could just stand right in front of the statue and change that move.
Yeah, that's what he's gonna do. It doesn't look like he has anything useful to replace it with. Unfortunately,
Well,
unless someone
then
else
go
is
with.
sitting on something. There's a ribbon.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say if you got nothing else, go with a hero ring to at least do some more damage, but don't leave the Moogle charm on. But he's doing some searching here. Oh, look. Zeke is back to tier 4 with one character at 276 HP.
He's not gonna have a nice time.
No, no, it's looking grim, especially when that one character is Gao.
I mean, Gao at least has Grand Train, but now he's got Umaro, which is a problem in Final Kafka. And he's not sitting on an inventory full of shields like Javinator is.
Yeah, that does pose a problem.
The
But
two J's
Javinator,
both sitting on tier 3.
yep, tier 2.
Bum Rush getting a lot of play tonight on Javinator's screen. Oh, Jax is now on to tier 3.
Well, Zeke did have a shield, which he cracked with that Thunder Shield, which is a good idea. But now he's out of MP. He's got some rod. Oh, he's got another shield. He's got some rods. I hope he's got some healing.
It looks like he's just swinging for it, unfortunately.
Because he was using mantra for healing earlier,
Yeah.
and doesn't have that anymore. So yeah, I think he's hurting. So he's gonna have to crank out the damage before the counters and before the goner.
I will be incredibly surprised if he gets through this.
Yeah.
Sheeran unfortunately stopped on the one character, but he is wearing a ribbon now, so not able to be stoned. And Jack's working on tier 3, Javinator still
Ooh,
working on
miss.
tier 2.
Clutch miss by Gao there, but I think instead of getting up characters who can't do damage, I would just be trying to cast Grand Train and do this thing. Oh, he's dead.
Yeah, this is a complete gamble, and I will not be surprised if we see Zeke forfeit after this attempt. Because
Nobody wants to do this fight 3 times.
No, and I would have reset out of that.
Yeah.
And we are unfortunately given a forfeit from K-Toys. So we'll see if perhaps we can get them in for an interview while I switch up the music.
Well, we've got a tight race here between Javinator and Jax on tier 3. Well, never mind, not as tight as it once was when I first said that, because he's just getting there, but it's still pretty close.
Yeah, so we do have unfortunately K-Toysic with the forfeit. He will be joining us for an interviews after he returns from necessary biological functions.
Sheeran made it through at least the first Stooge. Is looking pretty good now.
Yeah, that ribbon and staying up in the air.
Kat, I'll ask you to watch your mouth in the chat. This is a family stream.
Yeah, we don't allow French.
Is that what that is? Ugh, that's even worse than I thought.
Well, I thought that was your problem with it.
It was a joke.
Oh, I don't get jokes. Mo getting jumped on. And the two J's once again on the same tier, although Jax has been on that tier a bit longer, probably has pooped out a bit more damage.
And here come the Meteos.
Yay, Meteor! Yeah.
He's got Alive 3 up, which is good, but doing some heavy heavy damage there. If he gets, well, all right, he's through calmness. See how many people it takes out. It's got life 3 up. Had the unfortunate thing happen last time I used life 3 for calmness. I got killed, revived, and then the same person got calmness again. So life 3 not great.
Not
But
perfect.
Certainly better than nothing.
And in the race yesterday, the one person who didn't have life 3 on them got calmness for me.
The only one that got calmness. Yeah, that was pretty good.
So
Sheeran on to the final fight. Javinator's done something. Something happened with Javinator. Is this a restream thing? Why we're not seeing Javinator anymore, or did I miss something?
My stream of him has dropped. I will see if that's because of something he's done. I'll try to reload it real quick. It does say to me that the stream is ended, but we'll see if I can get it back.
All right. Well, while you look into that, I'll talk. Oh, he's back. Ish. He's back-ish. I'll see if we can get. I mean, rather, K Toyzik is ready for his interview. K Toyzik, welcome in.
Commiserations on the end of your race there.
Thanks, thank you.
That was unfortunate.
Yes, the first fight was really hard. The second one, I knew I couldn't go to the end, but I try anyway.
Yeah, when I saw you starting to swing away with everybody at 1 health, I went, he's swinging for the stands and he's gonna forfeit if he doesn't.
Yes, that was the case. I'm a little bit sad because the beginning went really well. I was fast into the Kefka Tower. I get the 2 Thunder Shields, 2 more Thunder Shields that I knew I will throw to Kefka Tier 4, but that wasn't enough.
Yeah, it seemed like you were really struggling for damage the whole way through Final Kefka.
Yeah. Until Final Kefka, it was good, but Final Kefka and Tier 3 is definitively my nemesis. You know it.
I mean, it certainly proved it today.
Yeah.
Yeah, but until you got to Kefka, it seemed like you had quite the substantial lead, and then Kefka was just having none of it.
Yeah, but I don't know what happened. In the end, I thought Palidor was the right thing to do, but he hyperdrive anytime I go down.
Yeah,
so...
the lock ice like a 30% chance for him to counter with that. So that was incredibly unlucky. One thing I did notice the second time you went through, you took your Aura Lance off and just started punching.
Yes, and against Tier 3 because I thought the Aura Lance will give her heal.
Oh no. Aura Lance is non-elemental.
Oh.
No, exactly. Is the correct response.
Aura Lance will not do good things, but yeah, Aura Lance is really just a stat stick.
Okay,
so, yeah, keep it on. I don't think it would have made the world of difference for you if that makes you feel any better, but it did look pretty funny.
Yeah, but it was fine until this Tier 3, but it's okay.
Yeah, it was a solid effort, and you can't blame you for giving it up after 2 whole Kefka fights. Nobody wants to do that fight 3 times, so it was well done.
I didn't want to.
Any final thoughts before we get to our other racers here? We had 2 other people finish while we were talking to you, so...
Yes, but like always, thanks to Atmatex and everyone who restream, commentate, track, and things like this, who do this community goes better and bigger every time I come back. So it's really nice. Thank you to everybody and to all the viewers.
Great, thanks a lot.
Thanks.
See you next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, good try, man.
Thanks.
So we have an interesting situation here. So if the streams can be believed, Jax, who I believe was his first race, appeared to have finished before Javinator, but Javinator I think hit done in Discord first, and I'm wondering, Jax, if maybe that's because you didn't know to hit done in Discord as soon as you finished. So I'm not sure who technically finished first, but the win is credited to Javinator.
That's all right. I can live with this. It was still a pretty good seed.
Yeah, and actually you finished surprisingly close, between, at least as far as Discord is concerned, within 7 seconds of each other.
Oh wow!
So,
Nice.
yeah. So how'd that go for you?
Overall, pretty good. I was a little worried about the Kefka fight because I found no espers that were worth anything to deal with calmness.
Yeah.
So
I don't think
I'm just
anybody
like,
did,
you know what?
actually.
I'm gonna just muscle through it.
Right. Yeah. People found some life 3s, and that's about it. I don't think on any of the 4 streams we saw Fenrirs or Golems or Phantoms or anything. So we're curious to see how everybody handled it, and most people just died. So,
Yeah, the only thing out there was
I-
Life 3, I think.
Actually, I was thinking about doing a Palador strat to deal with calmness.
yeah, it's a thing. You have to calculate damage pretty closely and know exactly when to throw it out there, and then hope you do the damage that you thought you would. And the only problem is, if you trigger calmness on your first or second jumpers, you're just guaranteed both of them will die. So it's there's some weirdness to Palador for as far as calmness is concerned.
Fair enough.
But anywho,
So what were other people using for like their final 4 characters? For the Kefka
a lot of Stragos, a lot of Locks, and then we saw some Sabins and Mugs, and I think I saw a Shadow in there. It was mostly,
Oh, wow,
yeah, it was mostly Lock, Sabin, Strago, and Mog, I think.
That was the standard, yeah.
Okay,
Even
so nobody.
even a Sheeran, who has 2 more characters than everyone else, is using that party.
So nobody was using the Grand Train strat.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
no, that's true. We did see
Toizik
some
had
Gao.
Gao. Yeah. I think he dropped Mog in favor of Gao.
Yeah, Grand Train is not a great spell for the end game. It's just, it doesn't scale well. Its spell power is pretty low, but it does do more than punching. So it's a thing that can
That
happen.
does.
Unfortunately, if you're using an attack that only does 2,000-3,000 damage at a time, that's how you trigger a whole lot of Meteos, a whole lot of counters. So the real play here was to go, before Kefka's Tower, go buy a bunch of flame shields from the shop and just crack them all.
Yeah, there wasn't, unfortunately, a lot of offense around, aside from a couple level 3 spells that most people didn't find.
Oh yeah, the Ice 3 and Bolt 3 were the 2 level 3 spells that I came across.
Yep.
Yeah, Javinator was using Bum Rush. And aside from that, it was mostly a lot of Grand Trains.
Yeah, I got to the Kefka fight, I'm just like, crap, I forgot to go take care of finishing up the blitzes. Oh well.
Yes. Was it this seed? I've commentated a lot of seeds in the past 24 hours, so I can't quite remember. But was it this seed somebody found Ragnaroks in a shop? I think at the start of the seed, I thought we saw somebody.
I think we did, because I remember commenting on it, and then I don't think anyone actually went back and bought them.
Yeah,
I think I actually came across it in South Figaro.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I'm surprised
more
more people weren't stocking up on Ragnaroks, because they're not only great defensively, but a great weapon too. So that probably would have been the play to make for this seed outside of the aforementioned flame shields. But anyway, I mean, there are certainly a lot of different ways to tackle the seeds, and some work better than others. Depends on what party you have, what spells you have, etc. So don't want to say there's one size fits all approach here. Anywho, congratulations on the finish, I believe, of your first race. Not a terrible time either, so it was well
Yep,
done there.
thank you.
Any final thoughts before we ask Javinator to come in?
I just want to say thanks for having me. Thanks for the restream and the commentator and tracking and all that fun stuff. And anybody who's watching, give a follow to any of the racers.
Cool. Thanks a lot. Well, maybe we'll see you at the
Alright.
next one.
GG's. Thank you.
Shall we pull the Javinator in?
Let us get Senor Javinator. Welcome, Javinator. Congratulations on your second place finish, and it was quite a stream to watch.
Yeah, I'm sure you caught some of it.
That's exactly how much of it we caught.
That's a good description.
Yeah, I don't know. I've got two PCs, like one for streaming and one for gaming. So I was like, every time I had a little gap or a cutscene or something like that, I'm trying to figure out what's going wrong with my streaming PC. So anyway, at least I think you saw Kefka and both wipes, or the first
Yeah.
wipe anyway.
Yeah,
You were
so by
at
the
like
time-
7 Esper, 6 characters, and then suddenly you were at the blue screen, and then it was, oh, you're at Final Kefka now.
Yeah, I think we're about 20 minutes behind.
Right. Good
So
healthy buffer.
there was we didn't see you actually obtain Bum Rush. We didn't see you buy the Flame Shields, but those were good strategies.
Yeah, thanks.
So well done on that. We just didn't see him.
Yeah, I was trying to have a little bit of fun. Like I never used Gout, I never used Morrow, and I said, let's go for it.
I think
Yeah,
Romero
well,
kind of hit you in the face there on Final Kefka.
Let that be a lesson to you.
Right. Yeah, the tier 3 was an experience the first time around for sure.
Yeah, Sharon is actually getting the media spam as we speak.
Yeah, I see
So
that.
everybody had a pretty tough time with Final Kefka today.
Yeah,
But-
Yeah,
it-
my
You
I was gonna
actually
say
I
my
believe-
only
Sorry, go ahead.
fallen one mitigation was Palador on Sabin, and he's the only one who ate the calmness on tier
Yeah.
3. And then
Yeah.
I had no other healing other than Strago's Cure 3, and then he got hit with the hyperdrive.
that was
was pretty much
such
it.
unfortunate. He was queuing up to cast it. He had his little hands doing the things, and then he just took a thing in the face.
Yep. Oh, it was a
But-
fun run.
But even after the second time, you and Jex finished within 7 seconds of each other, so it was a pretty
see that.
a really tight race.
Yeah, I was thinking about forfeiting, and then I went into Discord and I saw only 2 people had finished. I'm like, well, let's load it up again.
Yeah, this one gave people a surprising amount of trouble given the amount of spells and stuff that were available. It's just the characters and their stats didn't match up with the stuff that was available to use. So it was rough, but you made it through. So well done.
Thank you very much.
Any parting thoughts?
Nope, just the usual thank yous and thanks for running these. It's, especially with the lockdowns and whatnot, these are the highlight of my Saturday nights. So thanks for all that, and GG's everybody who raced.
Cool. Glad to have you. And we'll see you at the next
GG's
one.
yourself.
See you guys.
Okay, so we just have a Sheeran here. Final restreamed runner taking a pass at Final Kefka.
Wait.
So-
Ed Sheeran's here? Where?
I mean, he's here, not there. He's here. He's got laryngitis though, so you can't tell.
That's probably for the best.
I don't even know who Ed Sheeran is. But this is an excellent time for everybody to go follow our runners. And apparently to follow the Restream team twice. And myself 4 times, based on how often that came up. But, once will suffice. But yeah, they've put on a good show for you. We saw so many goddesses and goddess statues get killed. So many Final Kefkas. And Boo was here.
And Boo was here too.
And, once the Sheeran is done, and you've followed everybody involved, except maybe myself, because you probably shouldn't, go play the game. It's an excellent rando. We have a Sheeran finishing now with a time of 2:39:05. We'll see if we can get them in for an interview before we head off to not interview land.
let's do it if he wants.
Yep. And all right, there it is.
There it is. You found it.
I was looking for the place where I put the time in. 2:39:05. So between our restreamed runners, it's basically just 13 minutes, which is not what I would have predicted. Lots of the times going through that. It did seem like Sheeran was rather further behind than that, especially at the start where he had all those issues. But
Yeah, but when you have a tougher time finding all that last stuff, like I was saying, you get a lot more levels and stuff. So he didn't have any issues with Final Kefka, whereas everybody else had to do it twice. So
I don't think Jex did.
well, I guess Jex didn't do it twice, but he did have a tough time with number 1 anyway.
Yeah. Sometimes Kefka can ruin your day. Sometimes.
Sharon in here. Sometimes Kefka eats you.
Yeah. GG's Sheeran. Congratulations on the finish there.
Thank you, thank you.
It seemed like you had a lot of trouble at the start of that race.
You know, yeah, the only saving grace was jumping Strago.
Yeah, we noticed that.
Yeah, he was on screen like half of that entire race.
And even some of the battles, he was invisible, and I don't know what caused that. So, that was an interesting thing to happen. But yeah, he seemed to be my MVP. A lot of things could not really take him down, as much as I hate to admit that.
Except for Tritalk.
Yes.
I think that was when we first noticed, like, hey, wait a minute. Can't jump your way out of this one. But that was the only time.
Yeah, and I still struggle a lot with that, like what enemies are weak to what until I see it, and then I'm like, oh yeah, and then I have to start changing things around.
Ah, yes.
So it's a fun learning experience.
Yeah, and at the end of the seed there, looking for that last Esper, that must have taken 15 minutes or so. The auction house was not kind.
No, it was not.
Were you doing the auction house in World of Ruin or World of Balance? Do you remember?
World of Ruin.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I started trying to buy items because I was like, let's just get them out of the pool, even though they're cruddy items. And then I got the Emperor button. I was like, you know what? I'm done with this.
Yeah, can't blame you for that one. But finally made it through, and then the Kefka's Tower seemed to be almost no problem. So the Valiant Knife play was good. The auction, and nobody else went to the auction house as far as I can remember.
Okay.
So nobody else got the Valiant Knife, but that seemed to do pretty good work for you.
Yeah, it definitely came in handy. And having a Blitz user on that one path was pretty nice for Vargas.
Oh yeah, pummel strats.
Yeah, I pretty much just knocked right through that. I was like, never could I have ever planned for that to ever happen, and it did. So.
Yeah, one strategy that one of the other racers used was he went and grabbed Bum Rush right before the tower.
Okay.
Put in some pretty good work for him. It's available. You often don't think about it because by the end of the seed, you usually don't need it. So I don't fault him for not getting it, but it was available.
Yeah, more often than not, I have a poor memory, so it's very hard for me to even remember what the blitzes are, except for Pummel. So I just don't use Blitz very often.
Yeah, all right. Well, you didn't need it. Did well. Yeah. Was this your first restreamed race?
This would be my second restream.
Second. All right. So yeah, well done. Any thoughts before we all get out of here? Final thoughts?
No. It was fun. Thank you guys again. This weekly race is just so much fun. I'm happy to be a part of the community.
Great. Well, we're happy to have you, and hopefully we'll see you on a stream again in the future. Mr. E, got any parting words?
For Sheeran?
Yes.
No, just good job on the run. Between all the restreamed runners, you were only 13 minutes behind, and considering the start you had, that's not bad at all.
Okay. Too bad at all.
So yeah, GG's on that. Hope to see you in future ones.
Righty, thank you.
Cool. And with that, we'll just do some outro admin. As I've said before, go follow the runners, go follow people who aren't me. Or, you know, if you really want to punish yourself, go follow me. And Ceiling Cat in the background, keeping track of all the things. Our runners Javinator, Jexbrock, Ashirin, and K Toyzik all put on a pretty good show. You know, go give them a follow and then join the Discord. Come talk to the peoples. They'll help you with your first seeds if you have any questions. There's lots of guides and stuff on there. It's a very welcoming community. Created entirely by Atmatech, the sole dev of this randomizer, and it has come so far in the like a year and a month or so it's existed that it's almost unrecognizable, certainly in terms of strategy. So, you know, as always, massive props to Atma, and come get in the community.
Well said.
Absolutely.
Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks to Atma. And we out.
Have a good life, and we'll be back next Saturday if you want to come back before your life is over.
That was kind of bleak, but I like it. I'm going to bed.
I'm going to a different place that isn't here. Good night, everybody.
Bye.